All right, so hey everybody, this is most of you guys probably know me as Rockfist. Real life name's Jonathan. Going to be playing a Dungeons and Dragons session tonight with some Iron Serpents, some of which this is their first time playing. Before we kick it off, just let's start with some introductions. We'll start in my top left corner anyway. It's Zokk. So Zokk, go ahead.
Hey y'all, I'm Zokk. I'm that lunatic enhancement shaman who's still playing enhancement at 60. Tonight I'm going to be playing a rogue character in D&D with these guys. I've played a few pen and paper RPGs before, not D&D 5th edition though, so I'm going to be learning a little bit tonight too. My character is going to be a rogue named Crawford, archaeologist type, good at dealing with traps, kind of antisocial, knows a lot of stuff. So
Awesome. Anybody else?
Not all at once, guys. Come on. All right, I'll go.
You got a little double echo. I think both of yours are coming through.
Oh, yeah, I keep trying to mute one. So
I'll mute the one that's not your screen. How's that?
Yeah, mute that.
Okay, done. We're good now.
Okay. So my name is Brad.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Most of y'all know me as a very high level, high skill undead warrior named Enusmcferet. I've done some things that I'm not proud of, but so do we all. And I'm here tonight to rediscover myself and learn some new ways to apply my talents and skills as Baron Windward, the extremely insane Tempest cleric. He's a dwarf.
Can't wait to meet him.
Looking forward to it.
All right, we'll go down to the bottom column here. In Canada.
All right. Well, you guys may know me as Dalannar. Real name's Dylan. I play a orc tank warrior. You guys know that I used to get my face bashed in and face pull a bunch of shit. Tonight I'm just taking a step back. I'm gonna play a warrior, a tiefling sorcerer called Rainy Gorvak. Virtue name Disdain, so you can just call me Disdain.
Nice.
Yeah, the history's going to kind of come out as the story comes through, but he's a bit of a loner himself, and he kind of keeps to himself because he's got a bit of a problem in his past.
What went from the front lines to the back lines? Like
Exactly.
Last and certainly not least.
Hello, everybody. Most people know me by Weezen. I'm a shaman that heals people with fluids. Tonight I'll be playing a paladin made from dragon. His name is Rogar, and he's gonna smash faces. And for Weezen points, you can like and subscribe to the channel.
Love it. Absolutely.
Nice plug.
All right. So that reminds me, I may actually throw my book I have on Amazon up as a link to make some money off you guys. Okay, so all right, we're gonna kick it off now. It is time to start our adventure, and just so everyone understands that's watching the stream, we're going to be doing a module called Death House, but this is also an sort of an introduction to the game for some of these guys. So we may at different points stop and talk 5th edition mechanics. We might, it's going to be an adventure, but we may have pauses that you might not normally see in other streams. So just so everyone's on the same page about that. All right, so Death House. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of Death House itself, let's have a quick word about what 5th edition basically is. It's a tabletop role-playing game. Obviously, we're not at a tabletop. We're doing it virtually, but it's going to be about the same thing. If you've never played a tabletop role-playing game before, to me, at its heart, it's about collaborative storytelling. It's not about battle and the rolling of the dice, definitely, but it's not necessarily it's not about damage values and explosions and things like that, though those things have great places in the story. To me, a great session is about telling a story together. So who's telling the story? Well, you got me. I'm the dungeon master. I'm going to narrate most of the story. Then you have our awesome players that you just met. They're going to narrate what their individual characters do in the story. And then we have this third force that influences the story, and it's the dice, right? So the dice is going to determine the success or failure of actions that our characters try to do, and even some of the actions I try to do. And none of us can predict how the dice rolls are going to come out, which creates a little bit of unpredictability to the story that I like. So let's give an example of this. So let's say you have an archer, okay? And this archer, like most archers, has a bow and arrow, and he wants to shoot a target. So he says to the DM, just like these guys are going to do in the session tonight, I want to shoot my arrow into the target. He declared what his character does, right? Now, I, as the DM, get to decide how difficult that is based on different factors, right? Maybe it's a windy day, maybe it's a clear day, whatever. And I'll say, okay, that's going to require a roll of 15 or higher, right? You don't get to argue with the DM about what the value is. Okay, you just gotta go with it. So at that point, the player rolls a dice, 20-sided dice, and if he rolls a 15 or higher, boom, bullseye. That's really how it works. That's how every skill check's going to work. Doesn't matter if you're trying to bribe a city guard, unlock a safe, sneak past someone. All of these skill checks are basically going to be the same, including attacking people, because there's armor class, which is the difficulty, and then there's your attack roll, which is how much you add to your 20-sided dice to see if your attack landed. So that's pretty straightforward. But rolls matter a lot more than you might think in D&D. A 20-sided roll is almost always a critical success. Now, what does that mean? It means that it goes above and beyond what you thought it was going to do. So in an attack, this results in actually doubling the damage. Okay, and there's different ways to do this in the player's handbook, but for the purposes of this stream, we're going with just straight double multiplied damage. Okay, if you roll a 1, though, conversely, that's considered a critical failure. And critical failures can be problematic for whoever rolled it, right? So you might have rolled a 1 on that shot into the target only to have the string of your bow snap. And now it's going to take an entire round for you to restring your bow, so you lose an entire round of action. So I'll narrate what a 1 or a 20 means to you, but that's sort of the gist of how it works. Players, does anyone have any questions about how any of that works?
Not at all.
Straightforward.
Let's get it.
So for the purposes of your character sheets, you're going to see these pluses all over your character sheet, right? Now these pluses are the numbers you add to your 20-sided rolls, or in case of weapons, your attack damage. So if I, for example, were to call for a persuasion roll, you would look and see what the number next to your persuasion is, and then you would add that to your roll. Now, I play with a unique house rule that I don't know of anyone else that plays it this way, but I personally love it, and my players always give me positive feedback about it. Well, I shouldn't say that. They give me positive feedback about it almost as often as they give me negative feedback about it. So if you do not have a skill, meaning when you look at all those skills on your character sheet, guys, let's say, for example, Enos, his character wanted to ascertain the history of something he's looking at, but he doesn't have the history skill. Enos, you would roll at what's called disadvantage. It means you roll the 20-sided dice twice, and you take the lower of the two rolls. Okay? Just means that you might get lucky and figure it out, but quite honestly, odds are against you because you're not skilled at it. If you're skilled at it, you don't get to roll the 20-sided dice at advantage. It just means you get to roll it normal and add your proficiency modifier, which is listed on the sheet. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
You can, if two characters have the same skill, they can declare that they're helping each other. And what that means is you give advantage to the person who you're helping. So if two characters, like for example, in our adventure tonight, we have two characters that have the persuasion skill. Actually, we have three. We have Zokk, and we have Enos, and we have Weezen. They all three of their characters have persuasion. So let's say they're in a situation where they're trying to talk to a city guard and persuade them to let them pass, right? One of you could declare, "Hey, I help Enos's character persuade these guards." Now Enos gets to roll with advantage on his 20-sided dice to take the higher of the two rolls, and that helps him get the check done, so to speak. Does that all make sense?
It does.
Cool.
So what about the third person? Could we like all three as a group like team up and
I
this out?
personally, I would need to hear from you guys how that would work. What I would say I would probably declare in that situation is that the advantage happens, and then if it fails, you still have that third person who can jump in and make an attempt, but without advantage.
Do you need the proficiency in order to be able to assist somebody with a roll?
Yes, unless
Okay.
you can give me a really narrative reason why that would work. So, for example, if you're trying to
Works for
pick a
me, yeah.
lock and someone's trying to help you, imagine trying to fix a car and the person helping you doesn't know shit about cars, right? They're actually going to get in your
They're
way,
going to get your way, yeah.
right? So you got to have someone who's proficient to give you. This is just a rocky like house rule, but I really enjoy playing with this rule, so we'll try it out. Okay, so there's a few things you can do in the game, guys. Obviously, you can talk to non-player characters, NPCs. You can explore the setting of the story. You can try to do things with your character, especially things that your character's good at. The most important thing is just have some fun. You know, really try to inhabit the story, inhabit your character. And you can always ask, "Hey, can my character do this?" And I'll tell you very plainly, yes or no. Or my favorite answer is, "You can certainly try." All right. I'll tell you if something's impossible, though. For sure, I'll tell you if something's impossible. Sometimes, like for example, and I should just hit this note just so everyone's on the same page. Let's take the example of a door that is jammed, right? And let's say that you try to unlock it and you fail your rolls. You can't say, "Well, I try it again," because the roll encapsulates all the many attempts you did to unlock it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that way we don't just sit here for 5 minutes, you doing the same roll over and over until you get a success. That's not very fun. But I'll tell you, like, let's say, for example, Enos's character, who is not very strong, let's say he's like, I just kicked that door down. I'll just say, you can't do that, Baron. That ain't going to happen. And that's it. We just got to move on from it from there and come up with a different
Just going to
solution.
hurt your foot, yeah.
It's going to hurt yourself, buddy. Okay.
Break a hip.
So the final rule before we jump into the adventure, so I know you guys are chomping at the bits just to get into this. The DM has the final say, always. So, you know, first time I ever tried to show my wife D&D, she goes, "Wait a minute, you just get to say everything that happens," and that's. And I'm like, "Yeah, that's how it works." All right, but with that said, I love player agency. I love getting out of the way, so I'm always open to cool things you guys want to do. I'm always open to your spin on how things look. So please take the time to tell me, what you're thinking. All right. With that said, we will now start Death House. So uh, we're going to start the adventure with a little flashback. And the flashback happens about 5 days before the story starts. The three of you are in a crowded tavern in a village that's on the edge of civilization. It's kind of out near this stretch of forest called the Dagger Woods, and it's kind of the last medium-sized town before you get into a bunch of hamlets and farmland and forest and mountains. And what happened on this particular night is you all four ran into each other. It's a place that's frequented by adventurers, and you ended up striking conversation with one another. And before I kind of break into exactly how you guys all ended up getting into this adventure with each other, let's just take a second and have you explain to me what your character kind of looks like, what you might have revealed to everyone in that initial meeting. And so we'll start with the tallest of all of you, uh, Rogar Fireburn. So Weezen, go ahead and walk us through what he looks like, what he would have revealed about himself.
hmm well, he is a big dragon-looking fellow. Um, he essentially doesn't have a lot of friends. He's kind of a loner type in a way. He's been abandoned when he was really young. He doesn't know why. Um, but basically, he's got a shield and a big warhammer, and he keeps to himself quite a bit, so he doesn't reveal too much.
Okay. Then we have this handsome tiefling gentleman.
Yes. Uh, disdain. I'd be kind of just hanging out in the back corner of myself, kind of as well. just kind of keep to myself, keeping an eye on everybody, right? Probably trying to make myself. What time of day is it?
This would be like an evening, like a
Evening,
dinner.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd be probably looking for a room at this point and ensuring that I'd be staying inside for the remainder of the night.
Love it. And I always forget to ask this, but what would your character have ordered to drink?
Oh, he would have had something very strong. I don't know exactly the alcoholic drinks in this place, but he'd be definitely looking for a place to escape. He would not be
Okay.
looking
So like a
for
whiskey or something really
something
hard. How about
exactly.
Rogar, Weezen? What would he have ordered?
Oh, an ale, a
A,
big
not- a
big
big
beer.
giant L, yeah. Just
Yeah,
keep them
big
coming,
one.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. And then you have this gentleman, this sort of milky-eyed older dwarf.
Yeah, that would be me. So the first thing that the party members would have noticed about me that I smelled like pest. I might have said some trite words with them at first, but we ended up being okay, thick as thieves, so to speak. But I'm a very big hermit, and I'm not into personal hygiene, and I'm really not into your opinion. So I'd love to see how this works out.
So what would he have ordered to drink?
Oh, he would have had water. His liver is busted. His
Yeah.
liver is totally.
It's done. Okay, awesome. And then the gentleman who kind of ended up sitting at the head of y'all's table, bringing all of you together, would be this gentleman here.
All right. So Dr. Ernest Crawford is more of an academic type. He carries himself like a man who's been is a man who's been properly educated. Probably would, if you looked at his drink, it would look like water, but he probably would have been requested that it be boiled first. So it's
Nice.
the year 14 whatever. So yeah, he looks like he's here on business rather than pleasure, and he's looking at the three of you like he's trying to size you up.
Yeah, and I would say what drew you guys to Dr. Crawford is that he was sort of openly inquiring about adventurers that'd be willing to head into the woods and search for a former colleague of his named Dr. Rudolph or Professor Rudolph van Richten. And when you heard that name disdain, that's what perked you. You really didn't care until
Yeah.
you heard that name. Would you have revealed to the group or to Dr. Crawford why that name would have piqued interest for you or not?
I would definitely would have revealed to Dr. Crawford about how I know the name, and then to the rest of the group, I would have just said he had helped me with some terrible ailment years ago,
Okay.
and I do feel indebted.
So feeling like you're indebted to this man Van Richten, you certainly were like, I'll help in any way I can.
Mhm.
I'd say for Rogar that being a paladin of vengeance, hearing that this is a good man who's done good in the world that's possibly in danger, maybe that drew you. And then I would say for Baron, it wasn't even a question. You just knew that from a destiny standpoint, you were supposed to meet these guys and you're supposed to be a part of this. And in that sort of crazy hermit way, there's no logic behind it. You just know this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Is that
I'd
fair?
like to add that watching these guys converse and watching how they moved, I noticed that they drank the same stuff as everybody else, and they ate the same stuff, but they didn't act like them. So I'm drawn to people like that to kind of stand out from the behaviors of
The
everyone.
outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So you, Dr. Crawford, you knew that one of the groups that Van Richten was sort of always using as allies and resources were this group called the Vistani.
Okay.
And the Vistani are these in D&D. They're sort of like the Romani, the Gypsies. They're sort of this wandering tribe. They have a bit of a reputation for being dishonest and thieves, but then it's just sometimes you get to know them and they're great people, and sometimes they're not. There's sort of a racial stigma around them. Nobody quite knows exactly where they're from. They pop up randomly. They tend to be amazing at instruments and putting on shows, and they tend to come to villages and do that sort of thing. And but they're sort of also known for you know being a resource for those that want to know more about the supernatural. And so it's not a huge surprise that someone like Van Richten, who all of you would know, his reputation was one of an expert of the supernatural. And so you approach this Vistani group that's outside of this village. That is the whole reason you're here anyway, Dr. Crawford, because you're the Vistani are here. And you end up meeting with a man named Dimitri, who tells you that he not only knows about Van Richten, he is a friend of Van Richten, and he knows where Van Richten is, and he fears for his friend, but doesn't know what he can do to help. And through conversation with the four of you, you basically secure passage on their caravan to the last known location of Rudolf Van Richten, and that's where we'll pick up the adventure. So. All right. So you guys spend several days traveling through the woods, and you end up leaving civilization far behind you. For the most part, the woods are serene. You don't run into any monsters or brigands or any of that kind of stuff. But the Vistani, they travel at night, which is sort of weird. Like you're kind of used to caravans that travel mainly in the day, but these guys seem to like to travel at night. And on this particular night, you're traveling through the woods, and normally they're chatty and playing their instruments and trying to ask you questions. And this night, they're all pretty somber. They're pretty silent. And as you guys continue on through the woods, you come to a sort of a cliff that overlooks a valley where, again, it's very wooded, but it's very misty as well. And Dimitri says, "This is as far as we take you, my friends. Uh, Professor Van Richten, he headed into the woods down this very path almost 2 weeks ago. I can take you no further. These woods are not safe." And
Thank
then,
you for your. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, no, this is where you guys would jump in.
Thank you for your assistance, and thank you for your warning, sir.
It has been our pleasure. We wish you the best.
Likewise.
And so, what do you guys want to do?
Well, Crawford's gonna haul his backpack onto his back, hop out of the carriage, and beckon for the party to come with him.
Okay, so you guys all head with him.
As Disdain tries to get out, he looks warily up at the sky and puts on his hood and just steps out as slowly as he can, noticeably not wanting to be outside.
Awesome. Cool. So you guys travel for several hours through the woods. The path itself is surprisingly clear. There's very little overgrowth, though the woods themselves are very thick. And as you guys travel through the woods, they open quite suddenly to a clearing. And in this clearing, of all things, there's a house.
Interesting. I wonder if anyone's home. We might be able to get some directions or information or anything.
Dr. Crawford, you have a very high passive perception.
Mhm.
And one of the things you pick up just as you guys are walking towards this house is that the wooded path is suddenly a cobblestone street leading up to the house.
Okay. Interesting.
Do me a favor. You have a history proficiency.
Mhm.
Give me a history roll.
Let's see here. So that's going to be 1d20 plus 4.
All right,
13.
so we got a 13. Okay, so with a 13, as you guys walk up towards the house, you just sort of note that the architecture of the house is not anything you're really familiar with. Not that it's anything crazy or exotic. If anything, it's more simplistic. But you can't place what region of Faerun this house would have been constructed in. And as you guys get closer, who would be in the front of the group?
Rogar, he's in the front.
Okay,
Rogar's
so
stepping in.
I'm right behind him.
all right. So Rogar, as you get closer to the house, you start to hear a whimpering, and for a split second you think, is that an animal? But then you watch as two forms sort of appear out of the shadows, and they're human children, and the whimpering's coming from the little boy, and he's clutching this little girl's, probably about 12 years old, kind of clutching the side of her clothing, and he's saying, Rose, Rose, are they bad men? Are they bad? Are they here to hurt us? And Rose sort of looks down at him like with a little bit of annoyance in her face, but then it melts away very quickly to this affection. And she says, No, Thorn. I think these are good men. I hope they're good men. She looks up at all of you and goes, Well, are you here to help, or are you here to hurt us?
Baron would ask if they would want any food or drink out of his pack.
Yeah, so do me a favor. That's really cool, man. So when you do that, give me Baron, why don't you roll this one for me? Roll a medicine check.
Okay. So what do I do? For
Go
that?
over to Discord,
Yeah.
and then you're going to roll a 20, and then add your medicine plus to that, which should be on your character sheet.
Oh, nice. +5.
That's good.
+56. There you go.
You don't have plus 56.
You missing those tacos, dude.
I love that it came out 69, though. That's perfect for you.
Nice.
Was not planned. That was not
Okay.
planned.
All right, plus 7. Yeah, as far as with the 7, as far as you know, yeah, they're maybe they're starving, maybe they're not. I don't care. Right? You don't know.
That's a terrible roll.
So it is. So the little boy, the little boy who you heard her call him Thorn. He just kind of looks up confused at his sister and goes, "Are we hungry?" And she goes, "No, Thorn. We haven't been hungry for a long time. Or maybe we've always been hungry. I don't know." She goes, "So you're good men. You're here to help us then."
Yes.
Well, we're certainly not here to hurt you. You can rest easy about that.
She goes,
Baron
I'm more worried.
recoils.
Okay, so you kind of pull back.
Oh yeah, something's wrong.
She says, "We really need help with our brother. He won't stop crying. He's just a baby. Maybe if you found out if he's okay, then we could stop worrying so much."
Where was he? Where's his last? Where do we see him last?
She just sort of points up to the 3rd floor. She says, "He's on the 3rd floor. He's down the hall from us, but Miss Julie won't let us see him, even though he cries all the time."
Who won't let them?
Miss Julie.
Miss Julie. Who's Miss Julie?
Thorn kind of looks at the ground and goes, "She used to be our nanny, and she used to be nice until she got pregnant with Walter, and then she started being mean to us.
Who's Walter?
He's our brother. He's just a baby."
Where's your father?
So Thorn starts to respond to that, and very quickly Rose like hushes him. She goes, "Father's doing his own business. He's a very busy man. We don't disturb Father."
How far away is the house?
Couple dozen yards.
Can we divine sense this thing if something's afoot?
Yeah, yeah. So go ahead. So you sort of activate that paladin ability to detect demons and undead and all that stuff. Um, and strangely enough, you don't get anything other than the house itself is sort of radiating a dark energy.
Okay, Baron's gonna step up and ask him if Julie's available to talk.
She never leaves her room on the third floor.
She's
And
on
if
the
you
third floor. Okay.
Can we step back and consult together quickly?
Yeah, of course.
What do you guys think? Should we be stepping up to the third floor?
I don't think we should go anywhere. This is creepy.
It's very creepy.
But, you know, Timmy is up on the third floor with Julie. God knows what Julie's doing to him. And what are we supposed to do?
We can't just stand here. We can't leave them in pain.
Oh, we certainly can stand here all night and all week if we want to.
I think I might have something to say about that.
Well, what kind of vibes is the good doctor getting from this?
The house seems exotic, like not from around here. Whoever built this was either from very far away or hired someone from very far away, which costs money. So my first impression would be if we help these people, we might be able to get supplies, somewhere safe to spend the night, directions, information, anything. It's a little off-putting, but the same can be said for a lot of folks. So,
Okay, I'm not going in this flipping house. I'm going to stay out here with these slightly less creepier kids, and I want to keep watch and make sure none of you guys get bum rushed by any spooky antelope or any other flora or fauna that might be dwelling nearby.
I agree to that, but I think rule number 1 in D&D is not exactly split up. We shouldn't leave you alone.
We have to search for clues. I mean,
Hey, you and Scoob go check out the mansion. I'm gonna go hang out in the van with Daphne and Velma.
I'm so scared. Okay.
So when you guys sort of turn back to the house as you're discussing, the kids are gone.
Ooh, great.
I told y'all.
Yeah.
well, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Let's go knock on the door.
Yes,
Right
let's.
behind you, Rogar.
Mhm.
As they knock in, I'm looking in the windows.
So you guys going up to the door and you knock and then Disdain, you're looking through the windows.
Yes.
So the first floor, every window is a stained glass window. There is one window which has a couple panes busted out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel like if you needed to, you could probably bust some more out and then climb through that way if you wanted to, but it's very jagged glass around the edges.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you look in, you do see sort of a foyer of a pretty massive, almost mansion-like interior that's dark, but it seems to be pretty nice quality from the furniture and the woodwork and stuff. The door itself is this very thick mahogany, and there is a metal knocker on the door there, and it's in the shape of a bat's head holding the ring. So who is
Okay.
at the door?
I'm knocking.
Rogar.
Okay, so you want to use the knocker or you want to just knock?
I just want to knock.
Okay. As soon as you hit the door with the first rap of your knuckles, which you're pretty strong fucking dragonkin guy. Like as soon as you wrap the door, it just swings open, and there's like this loud creak as it opens up.
All right. Let's walk inside the foyer and
Okay.
ask if anyone's there.
All right, so you sort of walk in and ask if anybody's there. Um, you're surprised how much your voice sort of echoes through this house as you walk in. Is everyone walking behind Rogar? Or are you guys doing something different?
I'm right
I'm
behind
right behind
Rogar.
Rogar. I've got it
I,
on because I
I,
can't
I
see.
catch up
Is it
behind
dark?
and
Yeah, it is dark, but there are candles on the walls. There's a little bit of firelight coming from a room. I'm going to show you guys an image in a second. Off to the side, there's a little firelight, and then there's a room directly across from you. You walk in that there's light coming out from the bottom of the door, and you actually hear like dishes clanking, and there's actually like muffled laughter and conversation. Let me show you guys what the foyer looks like. Yeah, so you guys kind of, this is right. By the way, when I show you slides, it's not exactly what it looks like. It's just enough to try to get your imagination wrapped around what I'm trying to describe. So you
Mhm.
walk into this pretty massive foyer, stairways going up to another level, a couple doors to the right and left. The one directly in front of you when you walk into the foyer is the one that the light's coming from the bottom, and you hear those sounds of dishes and laughter and conversation. To your far right, close to the stairs, but off to the right, there's an open door with what looks to be firelight kind of flickering from that doorway. Otherwise, it's all dark, but there are unlit candles and lamps around this room.
What is the condition like? Are there actually cobwebs? Is it in
No, it looks
disrepair?
beautiful. Looks
Oh,
absolutely
nice.
beautiful. Yeah, it looks like it's been polished and cleaned regularly.
Yeah. Rogar calls out, "Is anyone home? Is anyone there?"
So you call out Rogar, and it just sort of echoes out. Of course, you have this very deep, gravelly dragonkin voice, right? And it just sort of
Mm.
echoes. And you guys wait for a response. And there's a howl of wind, and when the wind howls, the door closes behind you with sort of a thud.
Well,
And then,
so I'm gonna.
and then if you have, so the only person who has perception is Ernest. So we'll have Zokk. Zokk, roll a perception roll for this,
Right up.
which is right up your alley because you're good at perception.
+6 on this guy. Let's see. Yep. 20.
Oh, not nat, but
Not
a
not
20,
not not, but yeah.
but a 20 nonetheless. So when that door closes, you hear in the far distance from the stairway above, or maybe it's from the kitchen, or maybe it's from that firelit room. You can't really tell, but you hear laughter, sort of a deep laughter when that door closes.
That was off-putting.
Okay, so I can use my booming voice here, Rocky.
Yeah.
We're staying put. They might not have heard Rogar. I'm gonna do a little booming voice. Is anybody here? Show yourself, because I'm getting really weirded out.
All right. So you use thaumaturgy, which is a cantrip of clerics, to amplify your voice to like really high levels. Not enough to break glass or anything like that, but it's about as loud as a person can be. And you just sort of boom out that question, Baron, and it echoes, and there's no response.
But I did notice some dust fell from the ceiling, so
A little bit. There's
I
a couple
won.
speckles fell. Yeah, it
That
was pretty
wasn't a total
impressive.
failure. I won.
one.
I won D&D that night.
Well, if they're here, they know we're here.
Go check out that room.
All right. One moment, gentlemen, and I'm gonna unsling my backpack and pull out my tinder box. As we keep
Okay.
going, I'm gonna start lighting the candles, and so we can keep track of
Okay.
better where we've been, and we've got some better lighting.
So you basically take the room from a dimly lit, almost dark status to like a lit status, not brightly lit, but it's lit. And you notice there's like some beautiful paintings on the wall. The tapestry's got some designs to it. There's a very luxurious shag carpet. It's definitely a very well-to-do house. I mean, this is borderline a mansion. You might just go ahead and call it that. It's really really nice stuff.
Does it feel bigger than it was out on the outside?
No, actually, it's proportionate to what you saw on the outside,
Okay.
but yeah, definitely on the inside, it feels. From the outside, it looked almost a little run down, but now that you're in here, you're like, this is a really nice place.
So, Disdain, were you in the back closest to the door?
Yes.
Can you want to go ahead and try and check to see if we can get that open again?
Yeah. I'll go to try to open that.
So you go to open the door, and when you do, it does open, but there is uh, in the forest around the edges of the property, there is a massive wall of mist to the point where you can like not even really see the trees beyond anymore.
Okay. Um. Like so. Can we see the where the break of the cobblestone to the road was? Can we see
You can actually, and it's interesting you asked that. That's where the mist sort of cuts off, so like you can't even see the dirt trail anymore. It's just the cobblestone.
just the cobblestone? Okay.
Mhm.
Did we all notice that, or did I just notice that?
You notice it because you're the one that declared you looked at it.
Okay, I'll call attention to it, guys. Like it's misty out there. Like we can't see the main road anymore. We can only see the cobblestone.
Well, there are people that need our help in here, and now that we know that we can get out if we need to, let's go back to the mission. Try to help
Okay.
these people.
I shut the door.
Okay.
So which door was it that we thought we could hear somebody on the
The
other
one
side?
directly across from you when you walked in.
Okay.
There's light coming out from under. You hear the clanking of dishes. There's even right now you hear laughter, and it's muffled through the doorway, but there's like laughter and conversation.
All right.
And
I
what
say
was
we-
to the right?
To the far right, over by the stairway, there's an open doorway, and there's flickering firelight coming out of that.
I say we go towards the laughter.
I agree.
I agree to that.
Okay. So you go to this door and just open it up.
I don't think that would be the best cause. I think. Is there any way we can look underneath? I'm seeing if there's something I can do.
Yeah, sure. Why don't you roll an investigation roll, Disdain?
All right.
And that's you getting on your
So
knees and trying to investigate what's going on under there. So
that's a +5.
nice, really good roll.
Ooh.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, surprisingly, so you get down there and you really can't see much from the angle you're at, and you start to almost give up. But then you remember this little trick where you take your blade and you sort of turn it, and you can use the reflection of the blade to see more,
Mm-hmm.
and you're actually able to see up to about knee height. Almost looks like a party's going on in here. There's people sitting at a table. They're talking. There's laughter. The feet are turning this way and then that way. Every once in a while, like the feet of what you assume is like a servant or something walks by the table. Um, Seems to be a pretty active scene going on in there.
Would you say it's like 10 plus people kind of thing? Like,
Yeah, probably about 10 if you had to
all right.
guess. Yeah,
All right. Yeah, guys.
that's
It
a
looks
really
like
high roll. I'll
there's.
give that to you. It's probably about 10 people.
Yeah, guys. There's quite the people in here. It's about 10 plus. Like, there's lots of activity going on. What should we do?
Well, I can't hear anybody crying like the two children told us that was going on in here, so I'm suspicious. I think we should go check out the room with the fireplace.
I'd like to have a word with some of these folks as to why they're not responding, why they're not keeping their house lit at night, why they have their children are out and about in the middle of the night. It's none of this adds up. I would like to have words. So
So what do you do?
I'm gonna, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna go over and motion to open the door towards the party.
Rogar, what were you about to say?
I want to open the door too.
Okay, so you guys are like, enough of this. Let's figure out what's going on.
Mhm.
I think we should. I already have my dagger out, so.
Okay. All right.
Let's get it.
And we cautiously open the door slowly.
All right. Love it. You guys kick this door open, and what you see is a completely empty room, a dining room. And this dining room has dusty dishes and cobwebs and moldy food. And there's another door that leads to what you maybe assume is like a kitchen or something. But the room is completely devoid of any people at all. Just this sort of abandoned scene of a dinner.
Well, that's not what I saw.
You said 10 people, was it?
10 people, servants going back and forth, hustle and bustle.
Can I make a knowledge arcana roll? Because this is sounding more and more like a haunted house out of character. I want to see if Crawford would think that in character.
Yeah, give me a Arcana roll.
All right.
$12. Okay. With a 12, you definitely know something's funky. There's definitely something going on here. You don't know if it's illusion magic
Something
or
supernatural specifically.
well, it could be illusion magic too. You know at least
Okay,
that much
yeah.
from your studies, or maybe both.
Is this the only room behind the door we just went through?
There's another door that breaks off from this one.
Let's keep going. Let's not stay here too long.
Okay. So yeah, so you guys walk through that doorway, and it's a kitchen, and the kitchen is it's not quite as like moldy and dusty and old as the room you just left. It's actually pretty well kept. There's a central like island prep station kind of area. There's a set of a wood fire stove, and then there's this dumbwaiter next to a bell, and the dumbwaiter currently has a little tray on it, and you see a lever that you can send the tray up or you can send the tray down, and there is a little larder that you could open and see what's in the larder if you want.
Wait, so you said the dumbwaiter elevator thing.
Mm-hmm.
You said it can go up or down, and
There's a lever to send it up. There's a lever to send it down.
and we're on the first floor still, right?
Correct.
So there's a basement. Okay. All right. I'm not gonna fiddle with the dumbwaiter. Just knowing that exists tells me something. And you said there was like some moldy food in the larder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you didn't open the larder.
Oh, sorry. Like you said, mold. I'll go ahead and open up the larder, take a look inside.
Okay. There seems to be a collection of like, wrapped bread and cheeses and some spices, and then there is a bottle sitting there of wine, and the label says Chateau l'Estampe. And if you have who has history, okay, you have history, Ernest. Give me a history roll.
I'm not doing too hot. 11.
On the edge of your knowledge of history, you feel like you should know something about that, if nothing else.
Chateau d'Estampe.
L'Estampe. Yeah,
L'Estampe.
Stompe. Chateau l'Estampe.
All right.
And yeah, just nothing. You know, you kind of like when you're at the grocery store and you're like, I think this is a good one. That's kind of what you're doing right now. You're like, I think that it's $20. It's not $10. I think it's good.
The food doesn't look like it's rotten though, right?
Yeah,
Right?
that's
It looks
kind of
edible.
yeah, it does.
Okay, I'm not going to eat it, but that tells me something. Is that there's food that's been here recently enough for it to still be edible. So somebody has been here.
Yep.
So
Can I put an Arcana check on the food just to see if there's anything?
Yeah, Disdain, if you want to take a look at the food and kind of think about it from a magic standpoint, you can certainly do that. $11. You know there's spells that conjure food. You know there's spells that preserve food. It's clearly good food. It's just, for all you know, it's either good food or it's old food that was preserved with magic.
Okay.
I said we test the dumbwaiter out with something from the larder.
Okay, so you go over to the dumbwaiter and there's a bell and there's a lever. You can send it up. You can send it down.
But which direction do we send it?
You're the one at the dumbwaiter.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab one of each item. I'm sending up the wine because the doctor can't really tell me anything about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna send up a piece of cheese and send up a bread. I'm sending it up to the third floor.
Okay. So you take the wine and you put it in the dumbwaiter, and you take some bread, you take some cheese, and you hit the lever to send it up, right?
Yeah.
And there's sort of this like clank, clank, clank sound of like, it's very old technology, right? So, but it goes up, it descends up, and you're there for a very long time. And then all of a sudden you hear the bell rings, and then you hear clink, 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 and it comes down, and there's a little letter that's been neatly folded up in the dumbwaiter.
We read it.
Okay.
I'm not touching that damn thing.
Yeah, you don't touch it. Who grabs it?
I'll read it.
Okay, so Rogar, you read it. What's going on here, right? And so you read it, and it is very feminine handwriting, and it says, "A pleasure I have not enjoyed for a long time. Please collect your prize later."
I'm gonna tell y'all that I was the one that sent it up, and I'm going to be the one collecting the prize. I'll let
you
know
do that.
But
I don't think anybody's going to get in your way on that one.
Miss Jane, she's been alone for a while, so.
Oh, it's a lady.
Okay, so we got a note.
Yeah.
Is there any other doors in this room other than the one we came through?
No, sir.
All right. Gentlemen, I say we stop beating around the bush. You say we go up to the third floor and check on Walter?
Let's get there.
Let's
All
do it.
All right.
Let's put Rogar in the dumbwaiter, and the rest of us run up the stairs, and we'll flank him.
No.
All right. So you guys leave this area and head back to the foyer. And as you get up to the stairway of the foyer, you can see into that room that had firelight. And what you see in there is a pretty well decorated den, a very masculine sort of room, stuffed animals, some books, some cases. You see a glass case with a crossbow on the far end of the room and a giant crackling fire.
This is on the way to the third floor?
This is as you get to the first step of
Yeah.
the first stairway. So it's
We
up to you
haven't went
guys.
into the room yet, right?
You have not. No, you can
Okay.
now, but now you're right, sort of adjacent to it. You can look in and
I'm-
see most of it.
I'm going to peel off immediately. Not going to consult. I'm going to go into the room. I've always wanted to go in here. I
Okay.
told y'all that.
So you guys watch Baron. He just walks straight into this den.
Leroy!
This is what I've hired, huh? All right. Let's make sure he doesn't get himself killed.
Yeah, let's follow.
All right. So you guys walk into this den. Like I said, it's very well decorated. There's multiple stuffed animals, including these wolves. Now, unfortunately, well, no, I guess we do have somebody. So, Disdain, you have survival. So, when you walk
Yes.
in and you see these wolves, survival is the skill that tends to have a lot to do with like hunting and tracking and how to live in the wilderness and all that kind of thing. So, do me a favor and roll a survival check, not because you're in danger, but because it's pertinent to what I'm going to reveal if you get a high enough roll.
Sounds good.
Got it, 2. Is it okay if I roll 2?
You have survival?
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't I have that written down? Okay, yep. You can roll as well, or you can give him advantage.
I'll give him advantage.
Okay, so roll twice, Disdain,
Okay.
and take the higher of the two rolls.
With my
Same
added,
difference.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
difference. So, okay. So, well, you only gave yourself +2 on that second one. What's your
So it's a
plus for
6 or a
survival?
9.
Oh, I see. No, well, no, you have +5 on the first one and +2 on the second one. What's your modifier?
Oh, my modifier is +2 on Survivor, +5 on the Arcana. Am I doing that wrong?
Oh, that's right. So we're doing okay. So
That
that
was
was
the
your
previous
first.
roll.
Okay, my bad, my
Okay.
bad. So okay, so roll again, and we'll
Okay.
take the higher of the two numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
That's
So yeah, so
great.
you kind of walk into this room, and Baron, you're sort of like walking in, taking it all in, and then you got these two guys, and then as soon as they see these wolves, they both kind of pause because these wolves look peculiar, right? And you Disdain, you're like, what's going on here? There's something off about these wolves, and so maybe you kind of mention that out loud or something, and then Dr. Crawford says, "Indeed," and y'all start discussing the physiology of wolves and their sort of physical character traits and things like that. And what you realize, Disdain, is like these wolves are far larger than a normal wolf should look like. That these wolves are very large, and then the shape of their face is a little off.
Okay.
It's almost like a breed of wolf that you haven't seen before.
Okay. All
And
right.
they're indoors.
Well, they're stuffed right now.
Oh,
But
all right.
yeah, they're stuffed. It's almost like a hunter's den.
Okay.
Like there's
So
mounted
this
heads.
entire, I
And
missed that. This
yeah,
entire time
okay.
I thought we were
That's
just staring
important.
at live
That's
wolves in front of us
important.
going, huh.
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
important.
well.
Yeah.
Wolves
They're
don't live in houses. Silly pants.
Let's be honest. Would that be the weirdest thing we've seen so far?
You little wolf with a smoking in his pipe with his little
Just enjoying it.
No, ridiculous.
Yeah, so you have these three, and there's three of them. There's these three giant stuffed wolves. There's also a glass case that has a very, quality looking crossbow and a set of crossbow arrows, sort of like laying out on. They're sort of mounted in this little display. There's also a safe that is just sitting on one of the shelves by the fire. And there's a decanter of brown liquid of some kind sitting by the fire, and the chairs there as well.
I go over to the brown liquid immediately and start drinking.
It's a pretty decent whiskey.
It's awesome. Nice little enjoyment.
Yeah.
You're a braver man than I.
I say we take a look at the crossbow.
Sure.
I'm standing by the wolves.
Baron,
For
you're by
torch.
the wolves. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So you open the case, look at the crossbow.
Is there any markings, anything on there that?
Yeah, so you open the case. It sort of creaks open, and you're kind of looking close at the crossbow. And as soon as you open that case and it sort of creaks, all of a sudden one of the three wolves howls and jumps forward, and we're now going to roll a combat. So
That or the safe would do it, I was feeling.
all right. So the way this works, gentlemen, is you're going to roll
I got y'all.
initiative. So every one of you sees an initiative modifier on your sheet.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
So what you're going to do is you roll a 20-sided dice and you add your initiative modifier, and that determines the order of combat. So give me those rolls. All right. Crawford's got a 22. Very good.
Oh, is that a nat 20, Weezen?
Oh.
21. Nice. So, unfortunately, I don't give you anything special for a nat 20 on initiative. So,
Damn.
How
uh,
about a crisp high five? Will that work?
hey, there you go, buddy. Good job.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We got 16 for disdain. And then we got 16 for bear. Now, you guys can decide who goes first when you roll a tie. So, between the two of you, who wants to go first?
RP wise, it should be disdain.
Okay.
I can see shit.
Cool. Got it. And then I'm going to
Alright.
roll now. I'm going to roll now for the wolf. So, and I'll do that in front of you guys. So, all right. I got an 8, so I'm going to go last. So, first up in the order is Crawford. So, what do you want to do about this wolf that suddenly animated and?
All right. So I would like to use my action to draw my rapier then, because I've had it holstered this whole time because I'm trying to be polite.
Mhm.
And can I ready a movement to move up when Rogar does?
So unholstering your rapier is a free action.
Okay.
So that's just it's in your hand, and
Got
then
it.
you can ready an action. Ready in an action means you tell me the trigger that will unleash the action between now and your next turn. So if you're like, I'll wait for Rogar to attack, then I move forward and attack. Like that would
Bingo.
be a
That's
trigger.
exactly what I want to do. Yeah.
But if that trigger doesn't happen, then your action doesn't happen, and that's the trade-off of holding an action. So.
I trust him.
Okay. All right. So Crawford pulls his rapier and he's sort of looking at Rogar like, what should we do? Okay. All right. Next in the order is Rogar.
I smash it in the head.
All right.
With
So
my
you run
hammer.
forward and hit it. Okay. So this wolf has an armor class of 14. So you'll need to roll your 20-sided dice and then add your attack modifier to that.
And what's the attack modifier?
It should be listed next to the weapon. It's usually your strength modifier, your level
Okay, so
proficiency modifier added
it'll
together.
say 2 hit. So my weapon 2 hit.
Yep,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You got an 8. So yeah, so you bring your warhammer down, and this thing is more nimble than you thought. It just sort of pulls away from the strike, and you hit one of the other wolves, and it just sort of falls over like a stuffed animal. Okay, disdain. Okay. So we'll see. He did attack, so that does unleash Crawford's action. So Crawford, you run right behind Rogar, and you attack as well. So roll your attack.
All right. That's going to be a 1d20 plus 5.
11, yeah. So it doesn't meet the 14. So
It's all
yeah,
right.
that wolf sort of backed away, and it's just sort of air that you meet with your rapier. Okay, next in the order is disdain.
All right. I'm going to cast Firebolt.
Okay. So
All right.
firebolt, I believe you roll an attack roll, right? It's not a save.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
And
do your
it's-
spell attack. Now your spell attack's on your spell sheet at the top.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's 1d10. Is that plus 5 then?
Yep. Well,
attack?
so your attack roll is a d20 plus your spell hit modifier.
Okay. Okay.
So what's your spell hit at the top of your spell sheet?
It says 5.
So it's a 1d20 plus 5, basically.
Okay. Okay.
If you guys see me consulting papers and my iPad and stuff as we go, there's a lot of information. I'm not smart enough to keep it all up in my head. So Okay,
13.
13. Yeah, so you actually throw this firebolt forward, and it actually hits one of the wolves that's next to him, not him, and that wolf sort of starts catching fire, and but it doesn't hit the wolf.
Okay.
After that is Baron. Baron, you've watched all these guys who have perfect vision miss this wolf one after the other. What do you do?
Yeah, it's time to get crispy. So I'm going to cast Wrath of the Storm on this wolf.
Wrath of the Storm. So walk us through what that does.
So basically, out of the winds that were swirling outside and is leaving this creepy mist that's securing the woods, that's obscuring the woods from us, I'm going to pull lightning bolts right out of the air and nuke this puppy.
Okay, so you're referring to your ability you have as a Tempest cleric.
That's right.
Okay, I think that you can only use that when someone damages you as like a retaliation thing. Check
Well,
the
then let's
second
get
page.
hit.
What's that?
Let's get hit then.
Okay, so you want to do some melee? You want to get melee on him?
Absolutely, man.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so then run up and hit him with your weapon and use your attack roll to do that.
Done.
That was badass though. Sorry to be a rules lawyer, but
So do we not have to roll a hit die first?
so you roll your d20 and then add your hit value, which on your first page should be next to your weapon.
Okay, that's 2. No, 1. Okay.
Damn, you rolled better than everybody. Almost crit. So you run up and you're like, "Roar," and you slam your, what is it, a hammer?
Yeah, it's a hammer.
Yeah, you clank right against this thing's head. So roll your damage, which is also listed next to your deal. So if it's like is it a 4, is it a 6, or an 8?
Is it 1d8 minus 1?
Yeah,
Would
so
that be
because you're
helpful?
kind of a feeble old
Sure.
dwarf, it's 1d8 minus 1. Hope you don't roll 1. Okay, yeah, nice solid clank on this thing. So yeah, so you so you bring down your hammer on this thing, Baron, and clank it pretty hard on the jaw, and it just sort of growls at you. You can tell you've gotten its attention.
Can I intimidate it?
It's pissed. It's not intimidated. You're the only one of this group that has shown that you're a danger at this point, so it's focused on you. Okay, next in the order it's back to top of the order, so that'd be Crawford.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's the wolf. The wolf needs a turn. Baron. The wolf is growling at you, and this sort of drool is dripping from its jaws, and it leaps forward, snapping its jaws. We're going to do a +5 hit on you. Your armor class, if my information's correct, is an 18. So
That's correct. Good sign, Wolfie.
he rolls a 19.
Ooh.
And so
No,
he
we need
clamps
that to
down
help.
on you. Yeah, so let's do the damage. The damage is very nasty. I'm
Oof.
sorry in advance. For a
Ouch.
level 1. They don't call this Death House for nothing. Okay, so, ooh, nasty, nasty. So out of 11 hit points, you just took 9 damage. So you're down to 2. So this thing just sort of grabs you in the jugular and starts shaking you. But your eyes light up with lightning. You feel the storm inside of you rising, and now you're able to unleash your ability. So roll your damage for that.
Is that a reaction ability of his?
It is.
All right.
So the damage, that's a 8 minus 1 again. No. So it can't. So is this Wrath of the Storm?
Well, it's on the second page of your character
Okay,
sheet,
sorry.
and it's at the bottom of your abilities on the top left corner. Isn't it 2d6 or something like that?
No, it's a rebuke. It takes 2d8 lightning or thunder damage.
Okay, that's hefty. So roll 2d8.
Okay.
You're about to have some tender wolf steak.
It's good for stamina out here.
Get that
Yeah.
stam up.
Oh, you
That'll do
fucking.
it.
Okay, so now he's not dead. I don't want you guys to think he's dead yet.
Okay, all right.
This wolf grabs Baron by the throat, and you guys watch his eyes light up with lightning, and all of a sudden, lightning just starts electrocuting through this wolf, and it yelps, and it sort of backs away, and there's smoke pouring from its fur, and it's looking up at you with like complete and total fear. But you are fucking bleeding like a motherfucker out of your jugular. You're like, ah, take that, bitch, you know, and yeah. So we're back to top of the order, which is Crawford.
All right. I'm going to try to finish the job. This thing, yeah. I'm pulling out I got the rapier out. I'm going to go for another attack roll. So.
Okay.
17. All right.
That's a hit.
All right. Now, since I've been adjacent to Baron and I guess Rogar as well, do I get sneak attack on this?
So what we're doing right now is called Theater of the Mind. Normally in D&D, if we were like all at my house playing we'd be playing on a map with miniatures, and the tactical aspects of this would be a little bit more specific. We might get there on video. I have ways I can do it, but right now it's all Theater of the Mind. I would say based on what you declared to me before, no, you kind of came at him from the front. And so if you had said, oh, I was sneaking behind him in order to get a sneak attack on him, that would be different. But no, as of right now, it's sort of backed away, and
Just
you guys are
damage.
kind of all
Got
in
it.
front of him in a cone, so no advantage.
Rapier 1d8 plus 3. Whatever. It's damage.
Yeah, you stab him, and what's crazy is when you pull out of him, even though there's some blood on your blade, it almost felt like stabbing a stuffed wolf. Like it didn't feel like you were stabbing into something organic almost, even though there's blood on your blade when you pull out. So, Rogar.
Come on, Rogar.
I think we finished the job. With a loud shout, he jumps with two hands and smashes this wolf in the head.
All right, give me an attack roll. Nice. You smack him good. So give me the damage.
And that's the thing to the side of the weapon.
Yep.
Right.
Nine, beautiful. Yeah, so you actually managed to take out a huge chunk of this thing's side, and again, when you do that, blood and guts and all kinds of stuff like that comes out, but also like pieces of stuffing come out too. But he's still staggering. He's still up. Disdain.
All right. I go to shoot another firebolt again.
Okay.
See if I can actually hit him this time.
All right, beat a 14.
He's filled with stuffing. It's just magic. It's not real.
17.
You hit him.
All right, so then that's 1d10. Three.
So, to borrow a phrase from a famous DM, how does he go out?
Seeing that I hit him with a fireball, as I hit him with that, he goes and it engulfs his entire thing. And as he's yelping, you see slowly seams of his body start to burst and stuffing flying in flames everywhere. And his eyes, when they burst, there's also stuffing falling out. And
that's perfect. Yeah, so you light him on fire. At first he yelps, and it's very much like killing a real animal, but then towards the end it's just burning as if you burned this stuffed lifeless thing. And you almost would think it was a lifeless thing, and maybe this was all some sort of dream. But then you guys turn to look at Baron, and he's almost on one knee holding his neck, and he is gushing blood. I mean, he's sort of stopped the bleeding, but he's severely injured from this. But you defeated the wolf.
I guess a victory, but I don't want to see Baron hurt.
Yeah, don't be giving me a victory drink yet, because it would run straight down my chest from my neck.
But
Because it's holding. So can somebody please help? Because I don't think I have anything. I've got medicine.
Do you not have Cure Light Wounds?
I've got a +5 to medicine.
you do have a cure wound spell, I think, in your
Oh,
spell
yeah.
list. And then Rogar, you have lay on hands. He's like, nah, I ain't using lay on that.
A question though, with the spell, I know I can't cast it, but if he was to cast the cure wounds
Mhm.
out of combat, does it matter? It's still the short
It
rest.
absolutely matters because he has a limited amount of spell slots until he has a long rest, which is basically an 8-hour rest.
Okay, so it's
So-
irrelevant as to whether it's in combat or out of combat. It's the same thing.
Totally irrelevant.
Okay. All right. What are you doing there, Baron?
I'm curing my wounds.
Okay. So go ahead and roll for that. There's no, you just got to roll the amount you heal.
Okay.
Should say on the little description there. Okay.
1d8 plus 1d8.
Let me double check that. Cure wounds is 1d8 plus your spell casting modifier. So your spell casting modifier is your wisdom plus.
Okay.
So whatever's the plus under your wisdom.
+3.
Okay, so 1d8 plus 3 is how much you're going to heal. All right, so you healed 11, which
That's
means you're
my
back to
whole
full health. So
Hell yeah.
you're literally like, sort of grab your own throat and you're like, do you just pray to the storm or do you channel the storm? Like what's your, I know that's a
Yeah,
nuance, but I'm
no,
curious.
my neck, I cauterize my neck.
It's like
Oh,
lightning
right.
sort of firing from your
Yes,
fingers.
dude.
You sort of grab it and it's
Super bubbly.
like, yeah.
You see it's just like growing across your face. Just
And I kind of smirk a little bit because I don't want to tell anybody this, but it tickles. Just a little.
Love
Just
it.
a little.
Yeah, so you actually are back to full health. Now you did burn one of your 2 level 1 spell slots, but you're now back to full health.
Perfect.
Cool. And you guys are still in the room and you've opened the case. The case seems to be, you seem to have access to it now. Like
Did we find any markings or anything on the crossbow once we got done with
it's
it?
a very high quality crossbow. It's not magical, but you do notice that 6 of the 20 bolts are silver tipped.
oh.
I got a quick question.
Yep.
Just before this. So if I did not heal myself, then do I have a slow recovery rate?
No, sir.
Or no?
If you get a short rest, you can use your hit dice, which is basically your hit point roll, and you get 1 per level to heal. So if you're level 1 and you're a cleric, that's a D8. So you could heal automatically a D8 just by resting a short rest, which is a 1-hour rest. But otherwise, you have to do a long rest, which is an 8-hour rest to get your hit points back.
Oh, got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Please continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So what do you guys want to do? You're in the den. There's the safe. There's the case. The wolf seems to have been dealt with.
I think somebody needs to take those arrows. I don't have any ranged ability though.
Yes. Gentlemen, normally I wouldn't be enthusiastic about the idea of taking something that doesn't belong to me, but we just were attacked, and I'm not sure entirely if the residents of this place are still alive or not. I steal from dead people for a living, so I say we take the crossbow.
I love it.
Okay.
I'll take it.
All right, so you basically get this crossbow, which is a medium crossbow. It has 20 bolts, 6 of which are silver tipped, and 14 of which are standard. You can add that to your inventory.
And which one of us took that? It was,
You.
okay, right. Crossbow. You said, was it hand crossbow, you said?
It's not a hand crossbow. It's actually a medium crossbow.
Medium crossbow.
Can I get a bio real quick?
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
I'll take one as well. So let's just come back in a couple minutes, guys.
I'll take a bong break.
Bong break.
Woo! I'll get a drink too.
What do you think so far, Dal?
Oh, I'm having a blast.
Good. I'm glad to hear
Great.
that. I may end up giving this crossbow to somebody else. I don't think I'm actually proficient with it. Also, that safe has been
Yeah, that safe is
tantalizing me. Yeah.
I might carry that bottle of booze with me. Seeing that I've already drank it, seeing it's good.
Awesome. Back.
I got a question for you and Weezy when you're both here. Are either of you guys proficient with the type of crossbow we just picked up? Because I checked my sheet, I'm not.
It's a medium, right?
Yeah, I think he said medium. Yeah, I'm only proficient with hand crossbows, the TD stuff.
Yeah, I got light crossbows myself.
Proficiencies.
Yeah. Okay. Where do you find that at?
Okay, so
Right.
I think it's a martial weapon. If you've got proficiency in martial weapons, I would imagine you're proficient with it. Let me double check to make sure it's a
Yeah,
martial weapon.
Yeah, I'm a soldier also. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm checking the part of the player's handbook that has the items to make sure it's classified as a martial weapon, because if it is, you are.
I've got simple and martial.
You got simple and martial?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I still don't see where it says proficiencies.
So on your class page, where you're a paladin, right? So if you go to the paladin page, it'll say you're proficient with like
And
light
languages.
medium armor, shields, simple weapons, and possibly
Okay.
martial weapons. I don't know if
Yeah. Okay, I found it. It says armor, light, medium, heavy, shields, simple martial weapons.
That's it.
And yeah, I'm looking at the equipment page in the book. I think it's page 149. If you look there under martial weapons, crossbow heavy, crossbow hand are both martial, and crossbow light. Oh, crossbow light is a simple ranged weapon. Interesting. Okay.
But that's crossbow medium, he said, though.
Oh, he said medium? Oh, shoot, that's a medium crossbow.
Or maybe there isn't one. Maybe there is only light and heavy.
Yeah, maybe it was just a verbal mistake. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding something. We'll have to pester him when he gets back. I definitely want this to go to somebody who can actually use their proficiency bonus, that's for certain.
Yeah, so what does a soldier do? You said you were a soldier.
Mm-hmm. My character was abandoned when he was young and raised by a group of roaming soldier paladins.
So that they were
Therefore,
like
I'm
mercenaries.
vengeance. Yeah, basically.
That's so awesome. Oh, Dal, dude. Bong rips and tater chips.
If we need any of that mist effect, I got it. All right.
Oh yeah. We got the fog machine over here.
There we
Let me get
go.
that Hulk. Let me get that Hulk, buddy.
It's my new piece I bought today. It's champagne colored, so I'm calling it Chris Toke.
Not Crystal.
Yeah, Chris Toke.
I get it, man. I do.
All right, so this house is spooky.
Yeah.
It is very spooky.
Hey, I think we're about to whoop its ass, though.
We'll see.
You almost died immediately.
First enemy of the game almost skipped you.
Just for funniness, I would have been dead. I only have 8 hit points. Like that would have fucking killed me.
Yeah, but did you see what I did to that freaking puppy, man?
Eyes lit up, just
Were y'all watching? It was
Yeah.
like.
Hey, Rocky.
Yeah.
Before we start, did you say medium crossbow? Because I'm trying to make sure this goes to somebody who can use it well, and I'm not seeing medium crossbow in the item page.
Sorry, it's like a standard crossbow. It's not a. I feel like there's heavy crossbow, normal crossbow, and hand crossbow.
And light crossbow, yeah.
So light crossbow. It would be a light crossbow.
Okay, so that's a simple weapon then. So I think anybody can use it then. It's not finesse though. It's probably not good for me to take it. Who wants a ranged weapon with silver bolts?
Give it to Bjorn.
Okay.
He can't take a beating like this.
Yeah, he needs to stay back a bit.
Yeah, let's give him something to wear if he
No,
needs
no.
to.
Here's what's fucked up. He actually can take a beating better than some of you. That's how dangerous the situation you were just in was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get this added to his character sheet then. So
Okay. So yeah. So Enos, you would just add light crossbow, 20 bolts, 6 of them are silver.
And that would be just under the inventory?
Yeah, it's under inventory for now. You can put it on your weapon sheet later. You guys can manipulate this sheet in PDF to automatically add stuff later.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
so you don't have to do the math.
I was gonna say,
I had
can
it-
you send the PDF later?
Hell yeah, yeah. I thought I did already, but if I didn't, I'll send you.
Well, is the one you sent me editable?
I think
Yes,
so.
it is. You just have to open it in PDF, like in
Okay.
Adobe Viewer.
Yeah,
Because I've been opening it up in the Chrome,
I just
right?
printed it, so okay.
This is my fishy pen.
and it has all that shit. Like if you remember how when Rocky was setting us up, it would like link it to all that stuff, and so you don't have to do half the research. Like it.
I'm ready to get back in.
One more time.
All right.
One more
All right.
time. I'm already jumping.
okay, before we leave,
Oh,
Rocky.
before we leave, yeah, there was a safe as well.
Yep.
And, Yep.
Yeah.
I
How
figured
many bolts did I just
20,
get?
and
20
6 of
and
which are
6.
silver. So 14 normal, 6 silver.
All right.
Okay.
Go
Gentlemen,
ahead.
considering what just happened, I have significantly fewer qualms about taking a crack at this safe. All right. Now, before I do that, were there other stuffed wolves in here? Or was it just that one?
There were 2 others. Yep.
But did you say that they both?
You guys kind of jostled them and hit them in combat. They fell right over like they were just normal stuffed wolves.
One caught on fire.
Yeah, one of them's smoldering right now on the ground. Yeah.
Do it, Doctor.
So, I want to throw the other wolves in the fire before I do this, because there's a fireplace over there.
Mhm.
But I'm concerned. My concern it's the lawful alignment thing. I'm worried that.
Do what your character. I don't care about alignment. I think that
All right.
in other editions got way
I think-
overemphasized. Just
I
kind of
think-
do what you think your character would do.
I think Ernest is pretty pissed off. He's gonna start to move the other wolves into the fire just to burn them, so that he doesn't have to worry about any more of that happening.
Okay.
And Rogar will help him, and he'll
Okay.
throw one
Yeah.
in.
So you guys sort of pick up these 2. I mean, they're pretty heavy. You guys pick them up and you sort of chunk them in the fire. Like the fire lights them up. They burn down pretty fast. There's a little bit of a
Okay.
weird, like almost chemical smell from the formaldehyde or whatever was used to make them, but otherwise they're gone.
Okay, now I'm gonna slowly start inspecting the safe.
Okay.
Like, if there's one thing I've learned is that when you've got something like that, that's primo territory for traps. So I'm gonna check first before I start using the thieves' tools.
Yeah, I mean, you check it pretty thoroughly. It seems to be just a solid safe. Like it just seems to be
Okay.
a standard kind of safe you'd find in your average nobleman's house. And
Right. And it's
yeah,
locked, right? Like if I try to
yeah,
open it without doing anything, okay. All right.
yeah,
So
it's
now
locked. You got to crack it.
I'm gonna take out the thieves' tools, and I'm gonna say, before I do this, gentlemen, this probably isn't something we want to tell people about. I don't want folks getting the wrong impression about me. And I'm gonna get to work. Let's see here. So that's gonna be a 1d20 plus 5, I believe.
Yep, using your thieves tools.
Yep.
Okay. So let's try to beat a 15.
Come on.
Oh, fuck.
Oh well.
That's so close. All right, so here's what I'll
It's
give
all
you.
right.
Here's what I'll give you. You put your effort into it. You're a little rusty. It's been a while since you've cracked a safe, right? And with a 14, yeah, man, you feel like you almost have it. It actually opens a little bit, so there's actually a little bit of give. You can almost get a finger in there,
Mhm.
but it doesn't fully unlock.
So you can almost get a finger in there. Do we have
Yep.
anything to pry this open? I don't think I brought out a crowbar.
I brought mason tools.
I have
mason
a
tools,
I have a crowbar.
You have a crowbar?
I do.
Holy
Rogar.
shit.
Rogar, would you kindly assist me?
I will assist.
So give me a strength check, Rogar. Let's actually do athletics. And it's a low score. I need you to beat a 7, dude.
Okay, so it's a D20 still.
D20 plus your athletics score,
Oh, well,
which is a skill.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Dude, Rogar comes up, pops the crowbar in, and goes blink. It just pops right open.
Awesome.
Inside, you find a couple things. You find a healing potion that will heal 2d4 plus 2 hit points. You also find a collection of coins in a bag. There's a gold coins. It's 60 gold coins. And the coins look like a foreign print, like it's a sort of an exotic looking print that you've never seen before.
Okay.
And then there is a rolled up scroll.
All right. So I'm going to hand the healing potion to Disdain.
Okay.
I'm going to the coins. Was it like in a bag?
It's in a little pouch, yeah.
In the pouch. I'm just going to tie the pouch to my belt for now.
Okay.
You said 60 of them. All right.
60 gold coins. Yep.
All right. And then after I do that, I'm going to unfurl the scroll and take a look.
Okay, so it's not a magic spell or anything. It's actually a legal document. It is a deed to a mill in a land called Barovia, and it's called the Grinder Windmill. And it has a very distinct sort of symbol of a windmill at the top of it, and it declares that whoever holds this deed is the owner of the Grinder Windmill. And what I need you to do is give me a history check, but you got to roll like a 20.
I heard you mention Barovia. That's going to be throwing up
Yeah.
flags.
Yeah, well, that's true. You do have some exposure to Barovia, so I'm going to ask for a 15 to get some information, but a 20 to get the juicy shit.
Give us the bits.
3.
Oh my God, you beast! You beast! Okay, so all right, so with a 21, a conversation comes back to your mind in like crystal clarity of you at Candlekeep with Professor Van Richten. And it's the first time you met. He was given a lecture on the anatomy of vampires and ghouls and the similarities between the two and the differences between the two. And you were sort of zoning that part out because you didn't really care about that part. But then he mentioned Barovia, and you actually approached him after, and you said, "Hey, I've found in my studies some correlations between this artifact I found from a place called Ravenloft, and this or Ravenloft, depending on the pronunciation, and this place called Barovia. So what's going on? He explained to you that Barovia was this this land that's cursed, and it's sort of pulled away from the rest of the world by magic, by very evil and dark magic, and that in that land of Barovia there's a castle called Ravenloft or Ravenloft, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And he told you that there's different things about this land. There's this mill called people call it Bone Grinder Mill, and that's like one of the other big structures in the region. And he told you a bunch of other stuff that you right now are struggling to remember what he said, but seeing this deed for Grinder Mill reminded you of that specific conversation from many years before.
So it exists after all. Gentlemen, I'm going to hang on to this for safekeeping for now, and I stowed it in my backpack, but I'm beginning to have some idea of what may be happening. I'm going to take a look at those coins. Is there anything that would indicate the country or the lord that had those minted on them?
There is a single there's two sides to the coin, right? And so there is on the one side a visage of a very noble looking man's face, very smooth features, sort of a cowl coming up around his neck. And on the other side there is a castle on top of a cliff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. This, and I'm going to refer to the deed and the coins. I believe these are both referring to places in a country called Barovia. The bad news is that the country is cursed. The good news is I've been searching for this country for a very long time. So, silver linings, gentlemen.
For you, I hear.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, let's keep searching then. So I got the belt. I handed the potion to Stain. I've got the deed in my backpack. Let's keep exploring the place then. Probably head upstairs, I would imagine.
Okay.
Let's check that out first.
So as you guys head back out to that foyer and you walk up the set of stairs, sort of leaving this first floor behind you, there's a really prominent family portrait at the top of the stairway. And in this portrait, you see a noble looking guy, and he's holding a swaddle in his arms. And then there's a woman, a very beautiful, if not cold looking woman, sort of standing by his shoulders. And then there's two children standing in front of him. And the children look almost identical to the two that you saw out front.
Okay.
And then at the bottom of this portrait, there is a single word. And this word is, make sure I say it right. 1 second. Durst. D-U-R-S-T.
Mm-hmm.
And who has perception? So that would be Ernest. So Ernest, give me a perception roll.
Not too hot.
Yeah, it's not that hard of a roll to beat though.
Okay.
So you actually see in this photo, in this portrait, it looks like the woman in the portrait is looking at the swaddle in the man's arms with a little bit of like disdain almost.
And they mentioned that I believe I'm going off of memory here, the nanny was the mother of the third child they mentioned. All right.
That is what they said.
All right. That kind of a dad, huh? All right. Well, I believe this is a portrait of the family here that I point out what you mentioned about the face to the rest of the group.
Okay. Anybody have any thoughts about that before you go to the next floor?
I do not.
Okay. You guys go to the next floor. And so you go upstairs and it's a whole other floor of the building, right? Like but this floor is different. It's not this big open area with only a couple rooms. There's actually a couple hallways with multiple rooms. And as soon as you get to the second floor, the first thing you notice is this smaller foyer where there is a body that is collapsed and decapitated. Next to it is a door that has multiple runes inscribed on it with a semicircle of salt, and then a hallway filled with some other rooms. And then the stairways also goes up to the third floor.
So
I'm gonna roll an
rooms.
investigation check.
Okay, what are you investigating?
The pictures of the different rooms by the salt, like if there's any correspondence.
Okay, so you want to get up to the doorway and kind of look at the actual.
So,
You
so
actually-
you're just stepping over the dead body to get to the door.
I'll take a look at the dead body.
Okay, so you want to go look at the door, Disdain, and then I hear Dr. Crawford saying he wants to go look at the body, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So, Dr. Crawford, you go up. Let's do you first. So you go up to the body, and I'm gonna need. So what do you got? You've got. You don't have medicine.
No. Cause
Give
of death seems pretty simple here. Lack of a head.
True. Give me a Arcana.
14.
Okay. So your Arcana reveals that the body you're looking at is some type of undead. It was undead when it died. That's what you know.
So it was undead and then it died.
Correct.
Okay.
Which
Not
is slightly
dead,
confusing.
dead.
It's double dead now.
Final death, hopefully. All right.
So could I use medicine here? Because I have medicine.
Please do.
Okay. All right. So what do you need for that?
And I tell him this was undead.
So let's give you advantage on that roll, Baron. So you'll roll twice and we'll take the higher number.
Okay. Can I throw the modifier in too?
Mm-hmm.
So +5.
Absolutely.
Didn't go.
So we got a 19 and a 17. So you have a 19. So with a 19, you totally nail it. Like, yes, this was not only an undead, this was a creature known as a ghast, which is a very strong zombie type undead with almost a little bit of intelligence to it. It's not an easy creature to kill, but when you study the wounds, the decapitation, you realize whoever defeated this creature knew how to defeat this creature.
So I'll obviously tell us what is the real deal here, and we should all be very careful. My attention is going to the runes next. Now, what are the runes carved in?
So we'll go over to Disdain because he's the one that said he went over the runes while you guys were doing the body. So you sort of join him as he's studying them. So Disdain, while they're studying the body, you're looking at these runes. First of all, there's a very thick, like semicircle of heavy salt around the door. And then there's these runes that have been carved into the doorway. It looks like maybe with like a dagger or something, kind of hastily. So what are you using to take a look at this?
I have a Arcana, so I should probably be using that first.
Okay, let's use Arcana.
So. Ouch.
Yeah, so with a 9, so with a 9, you're kind of like, these seem like they're important. This seems like there's something magical going on. I can't place it right now. But Baron walks over and he's looked at the body for a minute. And you're clearly stumped. And Baron, do me a favor. Give me a religion roll.
Nice.
Space that between the R.
Okay. Yep, sorry. That was the roll too. I screwed up. That was the one that was going to get us.
11. Yeah. Baron, same thing with you. You're like, there's something meaningful about the way these runes are put together. I just don't know what it is. Rogar, what about you? What are you doing while these guys are doing all this?
I'm trying to perceive what they're talking about, and what they're doing. I haven't seen any of these things before
Mm-hmm.
in my travels, so I'm trying to see what comes next. I know we're in a bad spot. I'd like to. Can we divine sense again?
We can, but I'm going to recommend you use your insight skill because what you've kind of done is you've stood back and watched all these guys work and heard what they've said. So let's use insight to see if you can piece something together.
Okay.
Okay,
14.
so you get a 14. So here's what you're kind of able to put together with a 14. This creature has been slain in the foyer, and then someone has done something sort of protective on this doorway.
What
So
what
keeping
floor are
out
we on?
or-
Second.
Second. So they're either keeping something out or something in.
If you had to guess with that 14, it's more of a keep them out kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay, well, none of us are gassed, so we should be able to go in because that's what we need to do.
So you want
That's
to
the
go
only
in,
door?
Baron? No. So there's this door. There's a door directly across the hall that looks very elaborate, and then there's a hallway of doors.
Oh Lord.
A hallway of doors, oh my goodness.
Let's go through the salt door. I'm going through the salt door.
I'm
Okay.
right behind you. I
All
got
right.
this out.
All right. So you guys walk through this salt door, and you walk. It doesn't. It's not even locked. Like it just opens, and you're in a library. And as soon as you walk in this library, you hear a sort of a wet cough, and there's a man who stumbles up to a desk, and he has in his hand a little hand crossbow. And this older man, he says, "Halt! Who goes there? Are you friend or foe?"
Friend, I hope. My name is Ernest Crawford. It's finally nice to be able to speak to someone here.
This man squints at you and squints at everyone else, and he says, "It's good to see you all again, my friends." And
Do I
then he sort
recognize
of,
this man?
it is Rudolph van Richten.
Ooh.
And he stumbles backwards against the shelves of books, and he gasps, and his breathing is very wet and belabored.
All right. I have a medicine pouch. Can we give him some medicine?
So you can, but as you go to offer it to him, he says, "My friend, I've done everything I know to do, but this particular strain of ghoul rot is quite deadly unless you are a paladin of great power."
I
So we
turn
can
to Rogar.
so we can lay on hands.
You could try.
Let's
Do
let's
it.
try it.
So so as level 1, you have 5 points, right? 5 per level,
Mhm.
and it can burn away a disease. It can burn away a poison.
Mhm.
And you put your hand on his chest, and this holy energy radiates out from your hand into his chest. And for a moment, he seems to be better. But then quickly his face turns pallid again. And he says, "Oh, my friend, you have bought me some time. But the disease, the rot, I still feel it within." And you
Can we do a
realize you just
medicine
don't have
check?
enough, you don't got enough paladin juice to pull this off.
Okay.
He says, "Dr. Crawford, is that you? Do my
It
old
is
eyes
indeed.
deceive me?
They do not.
It is good to see you again, my old colleague. How are things at Candlekeep these days?"
They could be better. I've been disbarred, discredited.
Institutions do not like those who speak the truth, do they?
Not particularly. I'm sorry, friend. I had come here in hopes of trying to help you, to save you when I heard you disappeared, but I don't know if there's anything I can do. I'm sorry.
I am humbled by your attempts. I have made many friends and many enemies in my long life. I did not know you would be one who would come to my aid in that hour of need, but my heart is warmed knowing that you are here. I have a little time left, I feel it.
So we need to
Maybe I
follow
can
up with
help
you for.
you. What's that? What'd you
I was
say?
saying, we need to get some information out of this guy before he croaks. We've got to
I've got
find
like
this.
10 seconds to answer your questions. No, I'm kidding. He's like, maybe my last act could be to help you and your friends escape this hellish place, this
So,
death house. Oh, they mentioned the title in the adventure. All right. Um,
They did the thing in the thing.
they did the thing.
do death
so he's very
house.
friendly. I don't think we're gonna have to persuade him to tell us anything. So, well,
I didn't feel that we were particularly locked away here right now, but if that's the case,
so
oh
I'm
no.
gonna ask him how long he's been here and how he ended up this way. How did he get the rot?
I have long searched for a way to strike at my old foe, and I thought I had found a way back into his cursed land. I was right, my friends. This place exists between both his realm and ours, and I'm afraid that my a mistake of old age, has cost me everything. I stumbled into this room only to be assaulted by a creature that in my younger days I would have easily dispatched. But now I know my time is limited. I must find my old foe. I must end his reign of evil before it is too late. But the flesh is so weak, despite my heart being so willing. He pulls a cloth up to his mouth and starts coughing.
You said this is a place between our land and his. Is this Barovia? Or is
You are
his land Barovia?
you are as astute as I remember, if not more so, Dr. Crawford. Barovia is the land of Count Strahd von Zarovich, and we stand now in the house of one of his former servants. And he reaches in his inner pocket and he pulls out a crumpled letter and he shoves it into your hand.
I take it. Yep.
See for yourself.
I begin to read. I'm still listening if he says anything.
You open the letter and it reads, Gustav Durst, you are my most pathetic servant. The entire Durst line will be cursed for eternity for the displeasure you have caused me. For years I have watched with mild interest as you and your cult sought to curry my favor with blood sacrifice, orgies, and ancient rituals. How many souls have bled out on your hidden altar? How many visitors to Barovia have you tortured in your subterranean dungeon? It does not matter now, worm. You have made the mistake of slaying adventurers I brought to this land for my own entertainment. You thought such a worthy sacrifice would curry my favor, that I would lift the curse of the dark powers that have been placed upon your bastard child. No. After making an example of your followers, I will leave you to your curse. Your hubris in thinking you are worthy of my power is as laughable as you are wretched. Your dread lord and master, Strahd von Zarovich.
I read that aloud to everybody.
So now we know that that name was on the bottle of wine that we sent up.
Stompe, I think, was the name on the bottle of wine.
Chateau
Strahd,
Lestamp.
okay.
Stomp.
No, that name was on the picture.
Durst was on the picture.
Durst. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
So Durst is this terrible little servant.
With a cursed bastard child.
And
Which
he also
is-
has a subterranean dungeon, which I
And it's also the house we're in.
Yeah.
Uh,
And the cursed bastard child supposedly being on the 3rd floor.
Rogar wants to ask this old fella if he's been in any other place in this house other than where he's at.
I have been unable to leave this room. I fortified it using rituals and magics at my disposal. I have slowed the poison. You have bought me a little more time with your abilities, Paladin. But I am afraid I am unable to move forward much more. And he sort of like gets belabored in his breathing. And he collapses. And do any of you want to catch him as he falls?
Baron catches him. I'd like to do a medicine check here.
Okay. So give me a roll.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, so you're able to ascertain that he has some type of poisoning that is killing him, and that it is very certain he will die, and it is only a matter of how long.
None of us asked him what he wants us to do, what he thinks the cure is.
He says he sort of grabs your arm, Baron, as you're laying him down to kind of rest, and he says, "Find a way out. Escape this hellish place. Perhaps I will see you in another way, in another day, in another time." And he sort of drifts off and he starts talking gibberish.
Are we gonna have to worry about him turning? Like we just fought something. And
You know from that medicine roll, Baron, he's not infected with any undead thing. It's just like a poison that's killing him.
Okay.
But he's alive right now. He's just sleeping.
Sleeping. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we know as long as we're in this room, we're protected from whatever.
Yeah, and by the way, you guys, because of your interaction with him, you haven't even really looked at the room yet. As you guys sort of look up at the room, it's a library. There's books, there's letters, there's a desk. There's also a fireplace that's not lit, but above the fireplace is a sword, and the sword is polished very bright, like you almost see your reflection in the blade. But on the hilt of the sword is the symbol of the windmill that you saw on the deed that you got out of the safe, Dr. Crawford.
I'm going to walk over to the sword, lift it up off the wall, and examine it to see if there's anything on closer inspection that I can see.
I'm going to go to the desk.
As soon as you lift the sword up, it spins out of your hands into the air, starts spinning around, and comes down in the middle of the group, and we're going to roll initiative.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Here I was thinking we were safe.
So
All
the
right.
the sword is gonna roll. Let's see. Sword rolls a 1.
Ooh.
So the sword's probably going last. All right, so we got Dr. Crawford at a 15. All right, we got Baron at an 8. All right, we got Disdain at an 18. Nice.
I rolled a 15.
And you got a 15 for Rogar. So Rogar or Crawford, who wants to go first? You guys tell me.
Let's let Rogar go first.
All right, Rogar, you'll go first. So first in the order is Disdain.
All right. So I'm gonna lead off right away. He's in the center of all of us, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna
Who
blast.
who is in the center?
The spinning sword.
Okay.
So I'm just going to my spell.
Sort of floating in the air, spinning, whipping at you guys. You're kind of backing off.
I'm gonna go and hit it with a ray of frost.
All right. His armor class, only because it's so small and kind of moving so much, is an 18. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to hit.
Now let's try. $24.
Nice. So you hit it. Smack on.
So that's a D8. Hit it for 3.
Yeah. So you smack it with your magic, and it sort of frosts the blade a little bit, but it doesn't seem to slow it down very much.
Okay.
All right. Next in the order is going to be Rogar.
All right. I have my shield ready, but I take a swing with my mace or my
Okay.
hammer.
Armor class 18.
Yeah. Oh, quick question.
Mhm.
I know it says +5 to hit. Do I get +2 more for proficiency? So 7.
No, that's included in that calculation.
Okay.
Strength plus proficiency for him, right?
It's your stat plus your proficiency.
Gotcha.
You smack that shit.
Ooh.
So now I roll the damage.
Yep. Pretty intuitive once you get the hang of it, right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's fun.
8 damage. Okay, so yeah, so you smack this sword and it sort of like floats away, and then it comes floating back. So it's still going. Okay, next in the order is Crawford.
All right. Rules question. Disengage actions allow me to make my movement without getting threatened by an attack of opportunity, right?
Correct. So
Okay.
what he's asking, guys, is if you're in melee distance from an opponent, which all of you are right now, if you just leave the space of that opponent, they get a free attack on you, called an opportunity attack. So if you use an action called disengage, you can leave without taking that attack, but it burns up your action you can do that round.
So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to do that free action to draw my rapier.
Okay.
Do disengage,
Okay.
and then move behind the sword so that I'm flanking him.
The challenging thing is it's a sword, so there's no like how do you orient what's in
I guess
front of
just
or
make it so
side
that
or
Rogar is on one side, I'm on the other.
you can hide behind Rogar if you want.
I've got something coming. Just hang in. Just hang in.
I meant so that where Rogar is here, sword here, I'm here. Like
Oh,
flanking.
you want to? Well, okay, but again, it's like in Ender's Game, like it's 360, like it doesn't have a front. So being on that side is
Okay.
the same as being on the front. So do you want to do that, or do you want to be somewhere else? There's no right or wrong answer. I just want to make sure I'm clear.
I'm gonna get in the practice of it. I think this is smart for most encounters anyway. Might as well start doing it now. I'm gonna set up.
So you have Rogar, you have the sword, and then
flank
you
it.
have you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you sort of pull off the side. It swings at you. You dodge. It comes over your head,
Mhm.
and then you're behind it. Behind it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's behind. Yeah.
All right. After that is Bjorn.
Okay, so I'm watching the utter madness.
Oh, you just went mute, bro. Can you guys hear him?
Say something. Enos.
How about now? How about now?
There we
Yeah,
go.
I got you now. Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
All right. So can I do any checks in combat, or is the time for that
As
passed?
as an action, you can, instead of attacking, you can do a check of some kind.
See, but I just don't know where I'm going. Okay, is that the good doctor has this deed in his backpack that matches
Mhm.
the symbol that's what's on the hilt of this sword.
Correct.
The sword is not the enemy here. It has some kind of connection to something that we have to destroy or show the sword or something.
So what do you want to do with that information?
I am going to tell the doctor about it and ask him to get the deed out and to show it to the sword. I thought about attacking the deed, but I'm just confused. Do you guys have any? Can I ask my party?
You have to tell me what you do.
Oh gosh!
It's combat here in the moment.
All right, dude.
D&D is hard.
Okay, so all right. So can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I think I'm in my mic now. All right, so I'm going. Can I just pilfer somebody's deed out of their backpack?
So you want to use your action to pickpocket the deed out of Dr. Crawford's backpack?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't have.
I don't have pickpocket, do I?
Well, you don't have the skill to do that, which is sleight of hand. But I will let you try at disadvantage. So you roll twice, and you take the lower of the two numbers.
Okay.
So it's sleight of hand, whatever your modifier on the sheet says.
Four skills, correct?
It's under skills, sleight of hand.
So many sheets.
First page by your stats.
Yeah, I don't even see it listed.
It should be there. It should be sleight of hand. Should be it should be a dexterity check.
Yeah, it's right above stealth.
It's on my character sheet, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
first page, right next to your stats.
No, it's not on there.
Hold on a second, I'll tell you. Because I got your sheet here. Just got to pull it up. Let me show you too.
Okay, do that.
All right, so on your character sheet, this is the first page, and then you have sleight of hand right under religion and above stealth. Do you see that?
No, yeah, that. Yeah, but it's
So-
not showing anything.
So it's 0. So you
Okay.
get to roll a d20.
Okay.
Nine. So, Dr. Crawford, you're like focused on this sword that's whipping at you. You're trying to get behind it or whatever that means. And all of a sudden, you feel a hand sort of tugging into your backpack. And you look and see that Bjorn's got his hand in your backpack, but it's like the blind side of his face. And he's like fumbling in your backpack.
Make it quick.
So you let him have it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Whatever
Okay.
he's doing, I got bigger problems to worry about.
Okay. So Bjorn, because he doesn't have a problem with it, you pull out the deed to the grinder mill.
I have a deed now. Sweet. I've got my grinding mill and I'm out.
Okay. All right. Next in the order is going to be the sword. So the sword seems to be pretty intent on the dude that just smacked him pretty hard, which is Rogar. And so he's going to make an attack on Rogar, but he actually makes 2 attacks because he's a whipping in the air sword. So he's going to hit Rogar. He's going to try to hit Rogar. So Rogar has an armor class of 18, which is really high. So the first one just clanks off your shield. And then he does another one. And this one also clinks off your shield. So you just sort of get behind your shield, Rogar, and this sword clinks off of it, and you're good. Back to the top of the order, which is Disdain.
Alrighty. I am gonna go and hit him with another spell. Keep my distance, because I think I may hit him with my magic missile.
Oh, that's a guaranteed hit.
There we go. All
But
right.
you burn a level 1 spell slot, but it's a
Yes.
guaranteed hit.
Yes. So I'm gonna do that, and so it's a D4 plus 1.
Is magic missile I think it's a little more than that.
Is it?
Let me double check. So magic missile. Hold on, almost there. So magic missile is going to be 3 glowing darts of 1d4 plus 1.
Okay.
So 3d4 plus 3.
Woo!
$11.
Okay, so yeah, so these 3 like magical darts shoot out of your fingers, zoof into the blade. It almost looks like the blade's absorbing the magical damage, and the blade wavers in the air. It's almost like it starts to sink to the ground, and then it suddenly comes back up. But you can tell you've weakened its whatever's making it do this.
Okay.
Okay. So after disdain, it is going to be Rogar.
Hmm. Hmm. So it's weakened, you said?
Yeah, it's sort of it's sort of wobbling in the air a little bit, like it wasn't doing that before.
Mm-hmm. Seems like magic is doing something to it. I can't do anything with magic. I think I'm just going to disengage and back up about 10 feet. And I like where the other party member was going with the deed. So I'm going to just back up.
Okay, so you use your action to disengage. You
Mhm.
back away, and then it swipes at you as you try to get away, but it misses, and you're at a safe distance now. Next in the order is going to be Crawford.
All right. Now that I see he's got the deed, I think the gears in my head finally clicked. Oh, I want to disengage as well, back off, and I'm going to let him do whatever he's about to do with the deed.
Okay, so you back off. Same thing. It swipes at you, but you kind of anticipated that. You parry it. You back off. Now it is Baron's turn.
This
You're
could go
muted.
one of two
Okay.
ways.
I can hear you. Yep, you're good.
Okay, this could go one of two ways. I could walk right up to it and say, "You shall not pass." Or I could burn this thing and sever any kind of enchantment that it has, which I think it shares. So I don't have any fire on me. I think someone mentioned they had torches and stuff. So can I just throw it in the fireplace that's unlit and tell somebody to set it on fire?
Do whatever you want.
I haven't engaged the sword yet.
No. You're holding the deed. The sword's whipping it pretty much. It's pretty much whipping at Crawford and it's whipping at Rogar, but that's the only two it's really attacked so far.
Okay, this deed seems very important. I'm not going to just go straight to the destruction phase like I do. I'm going to, God, dude, this is a mistake. I want to take another one in the neck. So I'm going to take the deed and I'm going to walk up to the sword and I'm going to attempt to command it with my booming voice.
Okay, so what do you say?
Kind of like intimidate it.
Tell me what you say, bro. I got to hear it.
Oh, gosh, dude. There's so
So
many.
you're holding the deed and you say what? With a booming voice.
It has to be something super cool, like down fell instrument of death.
You say down fell instrument of death.
Yes.
And when you hold the deed forward, the little signet at the top of the deed glows. And the hilt of the sword, which has the same signet, glows.
And I want to tell it, I'm your master.
And the sword plunges itself into the floor by about 6 inches in front of you. And the emblem on the sword is glowing, but the sword is now embedded in the floor in front of you and is not moving anymore.
So my neck, I'll bring my hand up to check my neck.
It's still there.
Okay.
Scarred from the healing before, but
Yes.
It's still there.
And it still tickles.
It does tickle.
Okay. Excellent.
So
Did we win?
The combat's over. The sword is plunged in the ground in front of you and is not making any aggressive moves. And
okay, I'm not the strongest guy, but I'm gonna attempt to pick it up.
It's slightly heavy, but it's a long sword. It's a long sword +1.
Okay.
It's a magical weapon. The first one you guys have in your party.
Awesome. I'm taking it.
All right.
Good for you.
That was fun. I can tell some of y'all have never messed with the occult at all. At all. And
Let me tell you about it.
Let me tell you about the call.
Noobs. That is one longsword for the old Enusmcferet.
Yep.
Magical.
Hold my bear. Let me get this longsword out of the situation. You have the windmill longsword +1. Yep. It is yours.
As a question, him being a dwarf, is it as big as him? Is it anywhere?
So that's actually a
Gascoigne?
great question. So dwarves. So I play it like this. It's a versatile weapon in D&D. That means it's a 1d8 unless you use two hands, which makes it a 1d10. And that's up to Enos to decide. But if you use it as two hands, you're not using your shield, which lowers your armor class by 2. So that's up to him.
So that's a +1 weapon, right? So that's
It is +1. So you get to add +1 to the attack roll and +1 to the damage, which does offset your weakness of being kind of a frail dwarf. So.
All right, so we're done with combat.
Yep.
He's got the sword.
Yep. You have Van Richten sort of sleeping on the ground in sort of a feverish sleep. You have the library surrounding you.
I think we need to check out the desk. I'm gonna go check out the desk.
Yeah.
Hey, quick question. Can I give this sword to somebody that might know a little bit more about it?
You can do whatever the fuck you want, bro.
Okay, sweet.
It's D&D.
I'm going to scratch it off my sheet because I'm going to give the sword and the deed back to the good doctor.
Okay, Dr. Crawford, you now have the sword and the deed.
And the deed.
all right. Okay, I have a sword and a deed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna hang on to them for safekeeping at least. I'm gonna put the. It's not a finesse weapon, so I think I'm probably better off using the rapier. But I'm gonna put the long sword into the backpack
Well, it's clear to me that these are definitely tools more than probably. Well, I'm sure it's got its time for
I'm
use,
wondering
but
if
these
it
are
might be better
tools.
to give it to Rogar then, if that's the case, because you're good with longswords, right, Rogar?
He
I
can
have
use
martial.
Yep,
I can
he's got access
use
to all that.
All right. If that's the case, maybe we should give it to Rogar, and whoever is using the sword should probably hang on to that deed just in case it decides to get antsy again.
You know what? Give me all that shit back. You know, just for this once. That's enough. I've had it. I've had it. I've reached my limit. No, okay, yeah, give it to Rogar. He's good. He's
All
good.
right, Rogar, you now have the longsword, the windmill longsword +1, and the
Are we
deed
sure?
to grinder mill. Yes.
Iron
Final
Serpents
answer.
Council.
Final
Never
answer.
with a pen.
Luke Council has spoken.
Council has spoken.
Thror logged in long enough to say this goes to Weezen, and he logged out. It's done.
Okay.
Awesome.
So longsword +1, you said.
Windmill longsword +1,
Okay.
and deed to the grinder windmill.
To the ground house, I got it.
The bone grinder. Hmm.
Do I still get the +5 to hit, so it will be +6 now, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Probably improve the damage by 1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So let's take a look at this this desk.
All right, so do me a favor. So you're going to investigate the room a little bit. You don't have investigation, so give me a D20 roll at disadvantage, which means you're going to roll it twice and take the lower number.
Could I help him with me? Because I
Uh,
have.
You could, but because of the nature of how he introduced it, he's not yet. How
Okay.
about that?
Okay.
Not
Okay.
yet. So give me 2 D20s and take the lower. So you got 5, which is bad, and 19, which is great.
Yeah, totally redeem yourself.
So yeah, you look, man, and you're like, oh, I'm a fucking dragonkin fucking paladin. I don't want to fucking look through all these paperwork and shit. Like you think you found something, but you're like, I don't know, and you fucking throw it on the desk and walk away. You're like, I don't know. Anybody else want to do anything in this room?
I'll roll an investigation check on that desk as well.
Okay, go for it. Nice. Okay, so yeah, so you're
sorry,
like,
that's actually +5. My bad. It's supposed to
so
have +5.
22, even better.
Yeah.
So you're like, you see him get super frustrated with something he found, he doesn't understand it. You come over, you start leafing through the papers,
Fucking tables.
and what you discover is that whoever owned this house, right? Like they were they were they believed that this person called Stronvan Zarovich was their lord. And they would send money to this guy. They would send letters of admiration to this guy. But at some point, the relationship went sour. And this person, whose name was Gustav, his name was Gustav Durst. He decided that the way to get his lord's favor back was, I've got to stop seducing these like commoners and these other noble people. I've got to find some people that are like really high caliber. And once I have brought them into this house and brought them into what Strahd wants me to do, then I'll get his favor. And that's sort of the correspondence you find. It's like,
Okay.
I gotta find these really high caliber targets to bring into the rituals. And he mentions a name, and the name is Lorgoth. He says, if I feed these sacrifices to Lorgoth, then Strahd will be pleased with me finally.
Okay.
Let's feed a second. Okay, I want to do a religion. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to communicate to you guys about Lorgoth and how, because we all read that same letter, right? We read that letter about how he
If
was
you
pissed off
communicated
about
that to the party, yep.
it. Well, did Zokk communicate it to the party?
He did. right?
Yes, he did. Yeah. So I'll communicate
I
everything.
read it
you said.
aloud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll communicate this with everybody.
Okay. And what were you saying, Baron?
I want to do a religion check on this Lorgoth.
Okay.
If
Go
he's
for it.
taking sacrifices, that means he's a dude that's into that.
It's like his thing, man.
We hope. Imagine if he wasn't.
Oh, I can't tell you anything.
You're like, shit, I ain't never heard no
Lorgoth.
Lorgoth.
He's an ancient one.
You're like, I don't even know what this dude is.
All right. So we got nothing from there. What you said there's a bunch of books and stuff in the rest of the room?
There are.
Is there anything in the fireplace that's been burned up or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
You can tell that Van Ricken's been living here for a while. There's like a fucking very smelly like cistern in the corner. There's
Yeah.
there's like a bunch of there's like a little fireplace that's been set and you know, like you can tell the dude's been living here for a while.
Was there any books in particular that he's been looking into and reading and stuff like that?
Okay, I like that. So first of all, I'm going to give you for that question, I'm going to give you what's called inspiration. Okay. Now inspiration means that you can have up to 3 inspiration at a time.
Mhm.
You can choose any D20 roll you make to roll at advantage.
Okay.
Okay. Up to you when you use it.
Okay.
But you now have inspiration. So you find as Baron's looking at stuff and these other guys are looking at stuff, you go, okay, wait a minute. What is Van Richten being looked at? Right? And you go, okay. You find this pile of books and you start reading through it. And you find these notes that look really fresh. And you realize they're Van Richten's notes. And Van Richten supposes that Gustav Durst lost favor with Strahd, not because he killed some adventurers that Strahd wanted to kill, but because he was trying to find something called the Tome of Strahd that would reveal Strahd's secret to immortality. And that Strahd destroyed him because of that.
Okay. And so you said he's destroyed, but the children out front said he's been very busy and he's always working. Okay.
Who did they say that about, though?
I'm assuming their father, who is the person Durst in the picture that we saw that were similar. Right?
Safe assumption, in my opinion. Yeah.
But that mother, let's clarify, that mother hasn't been around, and it was a bastard child that they were talking about.
3rd floor. Yeah.
Right? So that is what the brother is the bastard child. So we don't know what happened to the mother of that family arc yet.
Correct.
I got a question, Rocky.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of check I can make to imagine what sort of room in a house would typically contain a medicine cabinet or anything like that?
Give me an insight.
Insight. Okay. Let's see.
Give him his insight. Come on.
+4. Okay. So then roll.
I mean, people keep their medicine in different rooms.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh man, that sucks.
D&D is hard, guys.
Yes, it is.
It's not that hard.
Okay, Mr. Paladin. So what are we doing now?
Yeah, your choice.
Yeah, you go.
We go to let's see. So we've looked at the books. We've got information there. We looked at the desk. There's nothing else in this room except for the poop pot in the corner, right?
Correct. Correct.
I
Old
think
old
Enos is
man
the
laying
only
on
one
the
that has
floor, wheezing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's gone for. He told us that 4 times. I think we cautiously step over the salt and we enter the next room on the right. I feel like we're not. All right. I don't know how I want to say this, but we're not being ambi turners. We're just turning right the whole time, so we can just turn left to come out. Does that make sense?
Do whatever you want. All right.
So I'm marching out. You
So
guys
Rogar's like,
keep-
I'm gonna keep exploring. I'm gonna figure this shit out. He walks out of the room. Anybody else doing something different or?
Yeah, I'm with Rogar. I'm gonna see. I'm hoping we can find a medicine cabinet or something in one of these rooms.
Okay.
First thing I do is just pay respect to him and make sure that he's laying in his bed at least. If he's
He seems to be sleeping pretty peacefully.
Or is that okay? So as long as he's good where he's at, then we can move on.
Okay. So you go with those guys.
Yeah.
What about Baron?
Baron's going.
All right. You guys walk across the hallway past the body of the ghast or the ghoul or whatever it was, and there's it's almost like an elaborate set of doors, right? And you guys push through it, and you walk in, and it's a dark room, but you can tell as soon as you walk in, there's a mirror that runs through the whole length of the room, and there's a set of instruments at the end of this room. And as you look at the floor, you realize it's almost like a dance floor of some kind. So give me just a second here. Let me get this fixed.
Well, instruments like musical instruments.
Yeah, musical instruments. Yeah. Here we go. All right. So you guys walk in this room, very elaborate. There's beautiful paintings on the wall, or the ceiling, I should say, and a mirror that runs along the whole length of the room. And as soon as you guys walk in, the door closes. And
Yeah.
what do you do?
Well, I cautiously walk around the room. You said there's instruments. There's nothing else but the mirror.
Correct. There's a couple tables laid out for like food or whatever, but there's no food on it. Otherwise, there's just the mirror.
What Baron's looking in the mirror immediately. Does he
Yes,
see any
you see your
reflections of anything?
reflection. You see your reflection.
Any reflection of anybody else
Nope.
that's not in this party?
You see the musical instruments. You see you. That's it.
Great. I'm feeling a lot better about this room. Okay. Okay. I don't, but
Yeah, the door just closed on us automatically.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is totally safe.
I do an Arcana check on the mirror.
All right. Give me a roll. Roll super high.
he could roll like a 50 and Rocky would still be like, guys, it's a mirror. It's just a mirror.
11. That's high enough, right?
It's
Look at
a
that.
it's a really ornate mirror.
Damn.
Okay. Well, I think we got what's in the room to check out is just the instruments, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's check them out.
No, let's not do that. That's stupid. That is so stupid. Oh, God, dude.
It's a lot of instruments just sort of laid out on the floor.
Are
Okay.
they string instruments? Are they brass instruments?
All kinds.
Okay.
Oh.
Do we have any minstrels in the party? Any minstrels?
I don't know what that is.
Music player.
Music player. No, okay,
No.
so who's going to walk over and give the piccolo the first toot? Anybody? I'm not. Are you?
I can't. I'm not the. I can't put piccolos in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm not tooting. No
It's like
piccolo
once you
tonight.
start the first one, it's pretty much downhill slope from
Yeah,
there,
exactly.
man. You be putting piccolos in there every day.
Oh,
Like
piccolo.
you be doing piccolos for $20. It's like
Hey, piccolos are the small ones too. Then you go to flutes. You're
oh,
usually
don't
on
that.
saxophones
Flutes are
before you're
$40
done.
minimal. Like don't take a flute for less than 40.
Flutes are a lot girthier.
Is there a bassoon?
Oh yeah, there's a bassoon. There's totally
Yeah,
a
okay.
bassoon.
Okay. All right, so we have instrument. Is there anything else on the walls other than the mirror, like on the
No.
other side?
No.
No. All right.
Okay. Disdain needs to check the door. Can we get back out?
Yeah,
I
why
grab
is
the
he always
door.
at the back? Anyway?
Well, I guess I'm a sorcerer.
Yeah.
I grab the door.
It won't budge.
Ooh.
Any other exit visible out of here? Did you mention that or not?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys think this is an opportunity for that crowbar again? Is that the instruments playing?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm with Rogar. Let's go check the instruments out.
Well,
Okay.
we're about to find something because yeah,
They look like standard instruments.
They look like standard instruments.
So as soon as somebody picks one up, we're fighting something.
Nobody's picking it up. First, we're Look, nobody touch anything. Nobody touch anything.
Ray, if someone asks if you're a god, you say yes.
We're looking for. We're gonna. I should have rolled a more perceptive, investigative character. This just sucks. I feel trapped. Trapped behind a wall of stupidity. So much more than I ever was. You don't understand.
I
Because
can roll an investigation check.
yeah, do it because we're looking for sheet music,
Alright.
anything, man.
All right,
Come on.
I'll just try an investigation check on these instruments right now.
Give me the roll, brother.
All system. So that's, I guess, it's advantage for him?
If you're assisting him, it's advantage. So roll twice and take the higher number.
Okay.
So 16. And 21.
Yeah, there you go.
You're looking at these instruments, and you sort of connect. You said Arcana, right?
Investigation.
Investigation. So you go. It's weird that these guys would just be here like willy nilly, like out of the blue, like what's going on, and it's sort of logical that they've got to have something to do with getting out of here. Like there's no reason they would just be here out of the blue, right? And you come over and you recount a story to him, Dr. Crawford, of a dungeon you heard about once where you have to play certain instruments to open doors. And this is really eerily similar to that story you heard about. And that makes you go disdain, like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is how we get out of here.
All right, Baron, pick up that piccolo, put it in your mouth.
But there's other instruments too. There's so many instruments.
Who's playing and who's not?
Dude. All right, I'm the hermit. I'll do it.
Okay. What do you pick up?
Okay, is that a harpsichord over there that I see?
There is one. Yep.
Oh yeah, let's get it going.
Now you're not skilled at that,
Damn it.
so give me disadvantage as you play it.
So how many instruments are there?
There's so many.
Okay.
Almost any that you can imagine.
Okay.
All right, so let's see what Baron came up with. He's got a 20, which is amazing. Nat 20.
Ooh, nat 20.
But he did disadvantage, so he's got to take the lower of the
shit,
two.
he's got to do another one.
Yep. Which sucks because
Another nat 20.
that was a crit success on that one. Oh, okay. You start plucking at this thing, and it's like, ooh, it's super off. It's like, like, it's not good. All right, who else is playing?
Sure, I'll play something.
Okay, what are you gonna play?
I think Rogar fancies himself a banjo. Is there a banjo?
Banjo
Love
player.
it. Of course, there's a banjo. He picks it up and with his draconic talons, plucks at it. Give me a disadvantage roll on that. $14, which is not bad. And a 3.
And 3.
Like you like play off. No, you actually like sever one of the strings with your fingernail. It's not good. Anybody else gonna play?
And
I'll
I'm
pick up.
-1. I am not touching it.
You don't? Okay. How about you, Disdain?
I'll pick up a trombone. See
Okay.
if that works.
Give me a trombone roll.
A disadvantage, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I don't think I have a trombone
19, which is
skill.
great.
And an 8.
An 8. It's not as bad as what these guys did, but it's not good. You guys play this cacophony of shit that is horrible, and and you watch though in the reflection in the mirror as this group of people in masquerade masks fill the dance hall, and they surround your images and bow and start dancing, and you guys watch as your images dance with these masqueraded visitors, right? But as your song continues and it's offbeat and it's not good and it sort of has this sort of almost like cringy value to it, you watch as the masqueraded people start pulling their mask off and they reveal these fanged, almost monstrous looking faces. And they jump on top of your images and start ripping their throats out. And you watch as your own image is devoured by these creatures. And you guys are like, what the fuck? And you're backing away from the image. And then all of those masqueraded figures stand up and start walking towards the mirror. And you hear a click at the door, almost as if it's been unlocked.
Making a dash.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you make a dash for the door.
Yep.
Okay.
I am going to barrel heartily towards the door.
Okay. Rogar
And,
makes a dash for the door.
I'm going to pick up Enos on the way out the door.
Old man Enos in between your arms. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
gonna follow them.
Do you
but
resist
it's-
that, Baron, or are you cool with that?
No, it feels good.
Okay, yeah, you just let him pick you up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what about you, Disdain?
I make my way as well, but I'm wondering if I can cast a preemptive ray of frost at them to try and slow them down. If we
I'll
don't
let
make
you
it.
choose between getting out of the door or casting a spell.
I'm gonna cast a spell because I don't think we're gonna make it.
Okay, so these guys run through the door, and you stop, you turn, you cast a spell, and give me your damage. I'm not gonna make you roll for attack. It's a big mirror, so you hit it, but give me the damage.
All right. So it's a
Good luck, buddy.
D8. 4.
So you frost the mirror, and as soon as you frost the mirrors, like they punch through, and you see like the ice has slowed them down, but they start to pull the ice away and come through the mirror. What do you do?
I continue to run for the door at that point.
All right, so you guys run out of the door. It closes behind you. What do you do then? You're in the
Grab some
foyer
salt.
again.
I'm going
Grabs-
back to the salt door.
You go back to the salt door.
Yeah.
Anybody doing anything different?
Oh, man.
Is there anything that we can use to obstruct the doorway? Any anything beside it, like a?
There's like an end table sitting at the hallway.
Yeah. I'm gonna help him move the end table.
Okay. You push that against the door. Okay. So do me a favor. Who's stronger of the two of you?
Him for sure. I'm a minus roll.
Strength 10 guy's the stronger one, huh? All right.
Okay. So I'll let you roll with advantage, which means you already had disadvantage because you don't have the athletics. So roll 1d20 plus your strength roll to determine how you do with that. Ouch.
And did you say advantage? I'm sorry.
No.
No.
The
Okay.
advantage wipes out your disadvantage.
Got it. All right.
So you start to pull. Rogar, you watch as he's pulling this table, and he's He's weak. He's small. He can't do it the way you can.
I will gently put down Bjorn, and I
All
will
right.
drag this table over there for him.
All right. You drop Bjorn on the floor, and give me
Gently.
an athletics check.
And so what is that?
D20 plus your athletics skill. Nice. Yeah, you walk over, you're like, I got this. And you just fucking pull this heavy ass table right in front of the door and push it against the door. And as soon as you do that, the door starts thumping outward. But whatever's on the other side is not strong enough to push the table away.
All right, so we're not going back in there.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness, that was close.
That was a close call. So we're on the second level. Is there any? You said there's several more doors, right?
There's a hallway with lots of doors, and there's a stairway going up.
I say we go up.
You don't want to finish this floor first?
Eh,
Okay, I want to peek in one room.
okay.
I got to peek in one room.
Okay. So you go.
Hang on. You realize that we just got chased by the zombie ass monster.
Yeah, but that was one big room with an ornate like doorway. I'm picturing from the DM that it's it's more like a hotel. There may be useful things in there like Bibles, which we all need. Maybe a Gideon.
Well, the good doctor wanted some medicine, so we can see if
I would, yeah. If I could find some sort of antitoxin.
If it's like a guest wing,
Cool.
Okay.
I will say that we've of 3 rooms we've walked into, we've had 3 different encounters.
Yeah, this is not called Happy House.
Happy house. All right, so you guys go down the hallway, you start poking your head in rooms. Quite frankly, it's boring. Some of the rooms are immaculate. Some of them are covered in cobwebs and dust. They all seem to be guest rooms of some kind or another, and there's nothing really of interest or value in anything else you search.
No bubbles.
no
You don't
Bibles.
find it. You find no Gideons.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe the 3rd floor has some. Let's go up there.
On Bible search. Let's go.
Love it. All right. So you guys push your way to the 3rd floor, and when you get to the 3rd floor, it's a bit of a hallway, and in this hallway, directly across from you, is a door. It looks like a closet door, but you hear crying, like an infant crying, on the other side of this door, and then the hallway stretches to your right and your left, and it's very dark.
So the
I'm gonna use my I guess it would be a perception check, but I have that dark vision. See if I can see anything down the hallway.
So you want to peer really hard, and you want to go to the left or the right?
Into the darkness, like not towards the crying baby, towards the other
Right,
door.
which is right in front of you. You want to go to the left or the right with that check?
I'll go right.
Okay, give me a perception roll. I'll give you advantage because you have dark vision.
Okay.
Five for the first roll.
Seven.
You can't see shit.
Okay, I'll try. I've got it too. It says it's a wisdom thing. Dark vision is.
Yeah. Now, technically, you don't have perception as a skill. So I'm going to let your dark vision cancel out the disadvantage, so you get 1 roll.
Okay.
Oh my fucking god. Nat 20, baby.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Time we got one.
So this is an automatic, this is a critical success. So Baron, you look you said to the right, correct?
That's right.
Okay. You look down to the right, and for a split second, you see the image of Rose. the little girl you met earlier. And she's outside a door, and she's motioning you to come towards her. And then she disappears through the door.
So there's another door down there that doesn't have a crying baby, but has a creepy little demonic kid out front that says, "Come with me, trust me."
Correct.
I would trust her. Don't know why.
When she first met us, she was scared of us. She was like,
She hasn't tried to kill us yet.
that we know of.
He hasn't stayed around very long either.
Okay, I'm going to tell the party what I've just seen because
Okay.
they can't see it, right? I've described
Correct.
it for them. Okay, so I'm going to put it up to the party to decide because my first vote is to follow the girl.
Okay.
Second, so third.
Are you cool with it?
I will grumble as I do it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Gotta
That's
go
par for
first.
the course. So you turn from the crying door in front of you and go down this hallway to the door to the right of you. All right. So you guys get in front of this doorway, and it's a door. So what do you want to do with it?
Let's walk in. We're not knocking anymore at this point, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to walk in.
All right. You guys walk in. You push the door open, and you're surprised to see a child's bedroom. And there's 2 beds in this bedroom. And in one of the beds, you see 2 skeletal, it's 2 skeletons basically, small skeletons, and they're embracing each other. And they're in tattered rags, and they're in this bed. And there's a dollhouse and some toys on the floor. And as you enter, from the shadows step the 2 children you saw at the beginning of this. And the little boy says, "Rose, are they here to play with us?"
Mm-mm.
And Rose looks at all of you and sees Rogar shaking his head, and she goes, "No, Thorn. I think they're here to try to help us, but I'm not sure."
What sort of help do you need?
"Well, we need to know if our brother's okay," says the little boy. And then Rose says, "And we're very sleepy, and we don't know how to sleep. The monster doesn't let us sleep."
Monster, huh? What monster?
The little boy says, "He's the roar monster." And he starts roaring. He goes, "Roar, roar, roar." And the little girl goes, "Be quiet, Thorn. He's a bad monster, and he won't let us sleep."
Where is the monster?
You already know where he is. He's down below. And you can't get there without our help. And we won't help you unless you check on our brother.
Ugh.
That makes things simple enough.
I'm just going to open the drawer of this end table over here real quick. I'm just checking on something. You don't have to worry about it. Now, is there anything in this room that, besides the children, that we could...
Give me a perception roll at disadvantage. So this would be 2 20s and take the lower number. Eight and
That sucks.
2.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
You can't see shit, my half-blind friend.
That
So bad.
dollhouse is a little peculiar. I'm wondering about that thing.
What do you want to do about that?
An investigation check on that.
Give me a roll, my friend.
All right.
System of that.
Okay, so advantage. Take the higher of the 2. 22. That's really fucking high.
Nice.
11. Well, 22 is what you take because it was with advantage. So you start looking at this dollhouse, and you're like, this looks like a dollhouse. And then you hear Dr. Crawford say, peculiar that it seems to mimic the design of the house itself. And that makes you look at it a little harder to stay in, and you realize that this dollhouse is a complete facsimile of the house you've been in so far. Every room matches. And then you realize that there is a access tunnel of some kind that goes all the way down to the bottom of the dollhouse and beyond.
And where's the access point at that tunnel?
In some type of attic, which is above this floor,
Oh,
though you can't see how to get to that attic.
okay.
So
Okay.
I think we need to. Rogar needs to check out the skeletons in the bed.
Okay. So how do you want to look at those?
See how long they've been there, maybe.
So give me a medicine roll at disadvantage because you don't have that skill.
Okay.
Ouch.
Just hold on.
It was at disadvantage, so 4 is your roll. They are dead children, and these are their skeletons.
So we're true to character. My guy's dumb.
So I'm gonna take a medicine check on the skeletons.
Okay, give me the roll. Nice. Okay. What do you guys think of D&D so far?
Love it.
Oh, it's
I
amazing.
love it.
All
I
right.
wouldn't be here if I didn't like it.
And you're
right.
doing really good too. You're just sucking
Thanks,
me
man.
in.
All right. So you roll a 16, and what you can figure out from this, situation is that these skeletons are human children that have died of starvation, and they died in an embrace with one another, meaning they were severely malnourished. They probably passed out and then passed away in their sleep on this bed together.
Okay, so I'm gonna assume that these are the same two children that we're talking to as
Makes
spirits or whatever.
logical sense.
So we've got to help these, is what I'm feeling. These guys are not here to slaughter us yet. So I want to start to check on their little brother and kill him if we have to, if he tries to kill us.
You want to help us with Walter and see if he's okay?
Absolutely.
Can I go with you? Says Walter. Or says Thorn, the little boy.
I'd prefer if you took us to Miss Jane.
He's asking Baron specifically.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes, Walter can come.
All right.
yeah.
Baron, I'm going to whisper you something in Discord right now.
Okay.
Well, shit, wherever the hell you are in my... I don't think I've ever sent you a whisper before.
Yeah, you have.
I have? Can't find it.
And Discord, right?
All right, hold on. I got you right now, though. Here it comes. So you watch as the little boy sort of disappears, and then read that for me, and on the video I'll post it for whoever's watching.
Dude. So you want me to read it now?
Well, however you think that would look to the group.
Okay. My pale, milky eyes now have a sudden flash of color to them, and they look a hollow blue, but are filled with light.
and Thorn's not there anymore. And Rose says, "Well, I want to go too. Someone let me go too, and I'll show you how to get to the attic." You need my help. Don't be silly.
I'll help you. I'll help you.
All right, Dal.
Okay. So, Dalannar, I'm going to send you something.
It's awesome.
I'll post this for the. I'll post this for the people watching on the video when I edit it. Okay. So read that.
Okay.
Okay. So
And-
so Rose disappears.
Hmm.
And you both feel really compelled to go check on Walter, your brother.
Yeah, we've got to go get Walter taken care of.
All right, let's get going.
Actually, I just open the door and walk out.
Yeah, let's get
Okay.
going. Let's
So
go
you guys
right now.
watch as Disdain and Baron just sort of beeline out of the room and go back down towards the hallway from where you just came.
Right behind him.
Okay. Rogar.
He grumbles and goes along with them.
Okay.
Yeah, you also notice that where I might have not been so sure of my steps before, that I'm walking in perfect clarity now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you're-
you guys walk down this dark hallway. You start to walk past the room that has the crying behind it. Do you guys stop there? Keep going? What do you want to do?
Yeah, we stop there.
Yeah, we stop there. That's where Walter is.
And we walk in.
So Disdain, you feel like maybe he's here, but that doesn't make sense.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like
You got to
hear-
repeat that. You cut out.
So you hear the baby crying, but to you, Disdain, that doesn't make sense. His room's down at the end of the hall.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we keep going.
So, yeah, then we keep going.
Okay. Does anyone
And-
want
and
to
I
open
say-
it?
and-
Or
and I
No.
say to the group, I'm like, yeah, this doesn't make sense. This room's at the end of the hall. Let's go down this way. And
Okay.
I keep walking.
you guys
Follow
walk
him.
past the baby crying? Okay. True heroes. All right. So you guys walk down the hall. And as you walk down the hall, you see this suit of armor to the right step out in front of all of you
Oh yeah.
and just starts walking towards you with a rusty longsword raised high. And we're going to roll initiative.
We should check on the baby.
That's not where he is, though. That's just a sound.
All right, we got 13 for Crawford. All right, we got 3 for Baron. All right, we got 9 and 9 for a lot of ties tonight. Who wants to go first on the 9s?
You can go
Uh,
first.
Okay, I
Weezen.
was gonna say I will go behind the possessed person, but
All right, well, you'll go. Okay, and then Disdain will go after you, and then let me roll for the suit of armor. Let me find him on my sheet first. One second. All these different creatures have different modifiers, you know. +2. Okay, so. All right, he's gonna go 14, so he's gonna go actually first. So, all right. So, by the way, is the music coming in okay for you guys?
It is.
Beautiful.
Yep.
All right, good.
The ambiance is great.
All right. So this suit of armor comes walking down the hall with its sword high. Who's in front? Who's the front of the group? Yeah, I think it was
I
Baron.
am.
Baron said he left
Absolutely.
first. Okay.
Absolutely.
So Baron, you're walking first, but as soon as this thing comes walking down the hall, you're filled with fear. You're like, oh, this thing's gonna hurt me, and you start to almost pull back. But it attacks you before you know what to do. So. Okay, this thing rolls a 20, not a nat, so it actually hits you with its sword.
Uh-oh.
Oh man.
Earth house.
Okay. What the hell? It didn't recognize my roll.
Sectum Shmurda.
He's like, what the hell did you do? One
Mm.
second. There we go. Okay. 3 damage. So you manage, because you're scared and you're already kind of pulling back, it doesn't get a full hit on you, but it does 3 damage. So now you got 8 hit points. Next in the order is going to be Crawford.
Okay. Yep. This time I'm gonna get behind because this time it looks like it actually has one, and I'm going to do the same thing where I draw the rapier, disengage action, move to flank it.
All right, let's work through that. So it's a hallway, and you guys are heading towards it. So in order to get set up to do that attack, I'm going to need
Okay.
you to roll a stealth roll as your action.
Okay. Yep. Sweet. Yeah.
10. Okay. Let me give a perception roll. So basically, perception is this thing's attempt to like see shit that's going on around it. You pass. This thing's it's an animated suit of armor. It's like focused
Yeah.
on what's in front of it, and so you sort of sneak behind it. So now next round you're set up to do a sneak attack. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. After that is Rogar.
Alrighty. Question.
Mm-hmm.
If I light this thing on fire, am I gonna burn poor Zokk up?
No,
Light her up.
it's a suit of metal armor. So.
Well, because it's a cone. That's what I'm asking.
Oh, I see. No, he's kind of off to the side.
Okay. I'm gonna inhale very deeply and
Okay.
light him on fire.
Love it. Love it. So he has to make. Is it a deck save?
It is. Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to check right now is your character sheet for what that deck save should be, and I'm going to show it just so everyone knows what we're
I think
looking
it
at.
says DC 12.
It's probably that. So let's double check. I'm just going to show it for the video so that people can see what we're looking at. 1 second. Okay, so here is Weezen's character sheet and what he's referring to. Well, it says DC. Well, it says DC is 10.
Oh, I was
my...
reading.
Breath weapon. No, you're right. Breath weapon is 12. Okay, so then he has to make a DC 12. So let's go back to the rolls. And he's going to roll a 1d20 Constitution save, which is just straight 20. He's got to beat a 12. He rolls a 14, so he gets half damage.
Right.
So
what
roll
am I
your
supposed
damage.
That's 2d6. I think.
Correct. Three. So he's only going to take. We always round up in D&D, so he's going to take 2 damage. So yeah. So you like throw this cone of. Is it fire or is it electricity?
Fire.
Okay, so you throw this cone of fire out. He actually manages to dodge underneath it, and you only sort of burn his shoulder for a second. All right. After Rogar is Disdain.
All right. Well, I'm gonna keep with the fire trend, and I'm gonna go with firebolt.
All right, you're gonna firebolt him. So that's a attack roll, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, so
add
it's
your
just a
spell
D20.
attack to a D20. And I need you to be a 17.
Nope.
Not gonna do it. Yeah, you throw that firebolt and he just dodges underneath it and keeps coming. After that is Baron.
Okay, I sent you a message, Rocky, in Discord in reply to that.
Okay, let me take a look. Okay, I responded.
Okay, cool. Very well. Okay, so here's what I want to do. Yeah, we're gonna just. Can I do the Wrath? No, Wrath of the Storm. I need to be hit. Okay, so am I close to him? Can I shoot
Yes.
him with my crossbow?
You sure could.
Yeah, let's do a crossbow. We're gonna load a silver tip in that bad boy and let it fly.
All right. So remind me, are you trained? Well, it's a simple weapon, so you're okay. So just roll
Yeah.
a d20
Okay.
plus your proficiency plus your dex. So I'm gonna pull up your character sheet just to make sure we get it right. One second, it's pulling up. Okay, so this is your character sheet. So we would look at your dex, which is 0, and your proficiency, which is 2. So roll d20 plus 2 for your hit.
Okay. Oh, I screwed that up.
Trying to beat a 17. We're almost done, by the way, guys.
Did I get that?
You did.
Hold on.
You did. It hasn't come through in Discord. You're sending it to me in whispers.
Oh shit, dude, that's awesome.
do it in Discord.
Got it. There it is, dude. Sorry.
Love it. Waiting on it. That's funny.
I didn't even catch
Oh,
it.
that's a hit. Which thank God, because the whispers you sent me wouldn't have hit. So, all right, cool. So yeah, so you clap into this thing. So give me the damage. Should be a D8 plus with silver. I'm going to give you a +1. So D8 plus 1.
Ugh.
1d8 plus 1. Okay, so 2. Yeah. So it chunks into him, but it's a suit armor. So it just plunks into him. Doesn't seem to really affect him. Does a little damage, not much.
Makes me sad.
Yep. Okay, after Bjorn, it's going to be the suit's turn. Excuse me. So in front of it, it has our very brave paladin who just blew a bunch of fire on him. And so he attacks Rogar. So he is going to attack Rogar right now with Rogar. You got a armor class of 18, pretty good. So he's got to beat a 18, and he is going to roll +3 to his hit. 9. So he clanks against your shield, and you sort of push him back. All right, next in the order is going to be Crawford.
All right. Gonna try for the sneak attack here.
Do it. You get advantage on the attack roll because you're behind him. So 17 and 8. Okay, so 17 hits.
Okay.
And you get to add your sneak attack damage.
All right. So what I'm rolling here, I believe.
Now everyone sees why rogues are good.
All right. Okay, 1d8 plus 3 plus 1d6. There we go.
All right,
Bam.
so some nice damage there. Okay, so yeah, so you just sort of chunk into this thing with your rapier. You manage to pull off some pieces of its armor. It's sort of staggering, severely damaged. Rogar, you're next.
Rogar is going to unsheath his magic sword.
Okay,
He's going to jump off the right wall and slash at his head.
love it. All right, give me a roll. Don't forget to add the +1 to your proficiency. So
Okay.
23.
damn.
That's beautiful, baby. So you smack into him, nice and solid. Give me the damage.
Do
It's a D8
plus. Yeah.
plus 1 plus your strength.
Okay, so it's D8, so it's not the hammer. Okay.
Correct.
1, D8, and then you said it's plus strength,
Yep.
and then plus 1 on top of that, right?
Correct. 6. Okay. So how's he go out?
Oh. With a flourish, I chop his head clean off his body and stomp on his chest.
All right. So yeah, you see the helmet come flinging off the wall, sort of ricochets, and then you watch Rogar just sort of stomp down on the chest and crunch it in, and the thing doesn't seem to move anymore after that.
And then he grumbles after that.
He grumbles. Of course he does. All right. So he grumbles. All right. So you got a bent up pile of armor in front of you, hallway with a single door.
Well, we got to open the door now.
Can we investigate the armor a bit, maybe?
Okay. Go for it.
Do a-
Investigate 2 this time.
You're gonna help him,
Yeah.
or are you rolling separate?
I think I'm rolling separate this time.
Okay.
I'm gonna try that out, see how that works.
All right. So he's investigating. You're investigating. Give me the rolls. 10 and 19.
19.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know, it's an armor, suit of armor or whatever. And then with your investigation roll, Dr. Crawford, this is a suit of arms that predates anything you've ever seen.
Interesting.
You've
Okay.
never seen a suit of arms this old before.
All right. Hmm. Okay. Well, that's certainly. So specifically, like when you say a suit of arms, you mean like the full plate kind of
The
thing.
way
I've
it's
seen
all put
full plate
together,
metal.
the filigree, the decoration, the way it's all put together.
Yeah.
Like if you were in a museum trying to classify what era this came from, it predates any era you've seen so far
Okay. All
for
right.
human armor.
Right. Okay. All right. I guess we'll move on then. Let's not waste any
Okay.
time.
All right. And just so you know, are you guys doing okay on time and everything? Because I know we've gone a little long here, but
I can keep
that's
going,
fine.
but if anybody wants to stop, that's totally fine. So.
okay,
I'm good.
we're pretty
Oh,
close.
we're
to the
going.
end of-
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Good.
All right.
Yep.
We're pretty close to
Good.
the end of this chapter, but I like it. All right. So you guys push through the doorway, and you enter a bedroom very different than the one you saw before. This bedroom is very much more of an adult bedroom. It is, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like a combination of an adult bedroom and a child's bedroom because there is a section of the room that has a crib with a black shroud around it, and you can see a little thing. What do they call that? Where it's like above the baby's crib. Um, you know what I'm saying, right?
I know what you're saying.
Merry-go-round.
Sure. Little merry-go-round thing. And that's sort of above the crib, but it's shrouded. But there's a normal bed and some paintings and a little vanity and then a clear window. And as you guys step into the room, you hear a baby crying from the crib. And a woman appears from the shade. Very beautiful woman. Kind of plain, but beautiful. And she says, I don't know why he won't stop crying. I've done everything I know to do.
Okay, so I'm going to do a medicine check on her to find out if she's still alive.
Okay.
You know, I want to play doctor.
I'm going to give you advantage on that roll. I'll tell you why in a second.
A little game of doctor. Come here. It's fine. Oh,
Okay, we
wait.
got a
Medicine.
15.
No, I should have had a +5 to that. Sorry.
So 20. That's fine.
Yeah.
20 is your first roll. And then what's your
Okay.
second roll?
Space. Damn it.
Remember the space, bro.
Noob.
Okay, so 21 and 20. So with a 21, you know she is not alive because she is transparent.
Huh. Huh. Great. Great.
What about the babby? Is the babby transparent?
You can't see him from here. You just see the bed. You see the black shroud. She's kind of in between, but not quite. You could maybe make it to the crib before she gets there.
Her that it was Lady something, right? Like
Miss
Jane.
Julie.
Julie, yeah.
Miss Julie. Uh, hi, Miss Julie. Miss Julie, is it?
That's my name.
How are you? Like how's your night been?
I haven't been asked that in such a long time. Give me a you don't have persuasion, right? Give me a persuasion roll with advantage, which would mean just give me a straight roll because you don't have it.
Okay.
So that's your charisma modifier and a d20.
So okay.
Nice. Good roll. So she says, "It's been so long since someone has asked me a question like that. I am sad. How are you? And how is your day?"
It's been eventful. We've ran into your geez, the children, because it wouldn't be. I'm trying to think what the exact title would be. The children out front. They've asked us to come help you with your young.
You're
Rose
talking
and
about
Thorn.
Rose and Thorn.
Yes.
They are good children. They are not
Uh,
my children.
no.
Walter is my child.
We'd be coming to help you with Walter. We've been hearing he's been having some crying problems.
He just won't stop. I think he's scared of the monster.
Monster? Has the monster been disturbing the baby as well as the children?
He disturbs everything. And Gustav feeds him and feeds him and feeds him, and it's never enough.
The monster is just insatiable.
He's as insatiable as Gustav,
Oh.
or Gustav's lord.
Ooh.
Well, you've met the Lord?
He came here once, and I hid my baby too.
Your baby was
He
born then.
he is a handsome man, but I knew as soon as I laid eyes upon him, he was a deadly man.
And did he bring the monster with him?
Oh no, the monster is Gustav's. Horrible creature. I stay away from down there. He took me there once and showed me, and I said to him it was enough. I only wanted to live here in the house, take care of the children. He turned it all into such a perverse affair.
Could I persuade her to show us the way to get down there?
You can certainly try.
Quick question first. Is this where the elevator came?
So it is not. You do know that
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Okay, so let's do the persuasion roll there, Baron.
Okay.
Nice, 23. Beautiful. So you want to persuade her of what exactly?
Well, so it's if I have her as a captive audience, I want to ask her a couple things. Can she tell us anything about this monster's abilities
Mm,
other than just roaring and disturbing things, like what it does? like if it has lightning breath, and then 2, how do we get to it?
Okay. Okay, so you're asking how to get to the monster and what the monster does. She goes,
Yes.
I don't know what his little pet does. I know it's below. And if you want to get below, you have to get beyond the mirror.
Okay, how do we get beyond the mirror?
She says, there's a button somewhere along the side.
Of the mirror.
It's beyond the children's room.
Ugh.
It's beyond Gustav, and she sort of looks a little pained when she says it. Elizabeth's room.
Oh.
Hmm.
He spent more nights with me and Walter than he did with her.
What is Walter named after?
Who's my father's name?
Out of curiosity, would you happen to know if there's any sort of medicine chest or anything in the house somewhere?
I know that Gustav and his friends kept many strange things in the basement.
Got it. All right, well, if nobody else is going to look. I'm going to see if I can take a look at the baby.
Yeah, let's do that.
She says, wait. Why are you trying to hurt my baby?
Wasn't. I was hoping to try to help.
How could you help him?
I had hoped to just try to see what was wrong, just to make sure there's nothing, like, visibly wrong with him.
He was born perfect. I don't care what everyone else says. He was perfect to me.
Understood. Is it all right if I take a look, or would you rather I not?
Give me a persuasion roll.
Okay.
This is effing intense, yeah.
It is.
It is.
14's not gonna cut it.
All
She
right.
says, a mother knows best.
Fair
Oh,
enough.
very nice.
I guess we're one way or another. We're dealing with the monster.
So is she still persuaded by me?
You haven't tried yet.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna persuade her. I'm gonna be all right. So yeah,
Roll your
let's
persuasion
get that
roll.
roll there.
While he's rolling that, the children are clearly here. Can they be helpful?
How would you channel him?
Insight, maybe? I don't know.
Okay, well, hold on a second. We'll get to that. So, Baron, you maybe try to talk to her about letting you go, and she seems to be listening to you for a minute, and then all of a sudden, almost out of your control, you go, "You've always been mean to me since Walter was born."
Oh,
And she just sort of narrows her eyes and she goes, "You're such a vicious little boy when you want to be. Behave yourself or I'll smack you again." And that actually makes you recoil. So you want to insight everything, right? So let's give an insight roll.
getting beat down.
While this is happening, I've stepped over in front of Baron protectively.
Okay. Dude, you're kind of confused on what the fuck's going on right now.
Yep.
You're not sure how to put it all together. Yeah, so you have her standing there. You guys are pretty close to the crib. You could probably pull the thing back if you wanted to before she could do anything about it. She doesn't seem like she'd be cool with that.
I yell over to her, "Don't you hurt my brother. Right? Don't you threaten my brother like that."
Give me an intimidation roll, but I'm going to give you advantage, which means you roll a straight d20.
Okay.
So you're like, "Don't you bully my brother."
And there's no. It's +3 for charisma.
Uh-huh. Oh, you nail it.
Get some.
She takes a step back and she says, Rose, you were so vile and vicious, just like your mother. She goes, fine, check on him. But don't you dare try to take him. And she seems to be directing that at you directly, Disdain.
Okay, so I walk over to the crib itself and I unveil it.
All right, so when you pull it back, it's a swaddle of clothing, and it's a baby. You can tell there's something quivering, moving in this swaddle of clothing, and it's crying. And you pull open the swaddle, and it falls empty, and it's just some clothes, it's just some cloth. There's nothing in there, and the crying stops. And she says, "Is he okay? Tell me, is Walter okay?"
Walter isn't here.
What do you mean he's not here? That doesn't make any sense. He's there. He's right where I left him. Don't you tell me my baby is not there.
I don't think you're talking about the right thing, because this is an empty crib.
This is an empty crib. You are an empty husk of a man. You are nothing but meat and bone. And what do you do with meat and bone? You gnaw and gnash it till it's nothing but mash. And she shifts into this sort of ethereal form and she rushes forward. We're going to roll initiative.
Here we go.
Okay, so she rolls a 12. Alrighty, so we've got. Alright, so make sure I got this right. So we've got 16 for Disdain. We've got 12. Or excuse me, that's me. That's my 12. All right, we got 19 for Rogar. Baron, we got a 15. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. And we got a 7 for Crawford, right? Am I seeing that correctly?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
All right. So first in the order is going to be Rogar.
Oh boy. I guess we'll attack.
Okay. She's got an armor class of 12. Very low.
Oh, I'm gonna smash her face.
You hit her.
Bring the damage, Rogar.
That's it. It's D8 for this, right?
Correct.
And then it's +4.
Mm-hmm. What weapon are you using?
The holy sword, the windmill sword.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
you cut her, and it hurts. She screeches in pain as this thing rips through her for 12 damage.
Nice.
Yeah, very
Nice.
hurt, very much hurts her. Okay, after that it's going to be Disdain.
All right. I think I'm gonna start off with um,
So many
Okay, so
options.
I'm gonna hit you with a chill touch.
Ooh, interesting. Okay, that's a very powerful cantrip against undead. So,
Yes.
okay. So chill touch, if I recall, is a attack roll or is that a save?
It's attack roll.
Okay,
Spell
so roll
attack.
your attack. Yep.
Damn it! That's a critical.
So bad. Yeah. So yeah, this sort of ethereal hand sort of appears and grabs at her, but she just dodges underneath it like it's nothing. Okay. After disdain, it's going to be Baron.
Okay, I don't know what else to do except smack her with my hammer.
Okay. So she's got a 12 armor class. So
The space.
that space, bro.
Space.
Y'all, it's all about that space. Oh, you hit her. No problem.
On this one where it says, I've got something that says on the.
Should say damage, and that's what you go off of. You just went mute, bro.
Sorry, my computer's doing janky things. I've got on the hit dice column. I'm supposed to roll a D8 plus 2, correct?
That's for hit dice, but what you want to look at is your weapon, and then how much damage it does, which is sort of off there to the right. So
Okay, 1D8 minus 1 because I'm
Yep.
a pansy.
Correct. 1d8 minus 1 for being a geriatric dwarf.
But hold on, hold on. He's no longer geriatric, if I remember correctly.
He's geriatric.
Oh, I thought he had a pimp walk now. with
He had a
his blue
moment.
eyes.
He had a moment.
Oh,
That's
okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, moment.
Okay. So not only do you hit her for a very weak amount of damage, but the damage you do doesn't seem to do as much as it should. It almost like passes through her a little bit, and she only takes 1 damage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
Yep.
have to kill her with my sword. That's what's happening here.
Okay. Okay. After Bairn, it is going to be the Spectre's turn. So the Spectre, who would the Spectre choose? So let's do.
Rogar has aggro by far.
let's
Why do I
do a
always do that?
D4. Let's do a D4. We got Zokk as 1. We got Dal as 2. We got Weez as 3, and we got Enos as 4. Okay, Enos.
Wow.
So
It's not your night.
I'm
so
dead.
she goes for you and misses. You actually like almost like Mr. Magoo. Like it's not that you so much avoided it. It's just that you like walked over to your left to check something out, and you just weren't there when she attacked. All right, so Crawford, you're up next.
That's awesome.
All right. If I'm up next, I want to make sure I'm understanding this mechanically. So the disengage action, that makes it so that I don't take attacks of opportunity, right?
Correct.
So am I doing this correctly to where if I wanted to get behind her to set up a flank?
Right now,
Rogar,
you're not within 5 feet of her, so
it has
you
to be
don't have
within
to
5
disengage. 5 feet's the
Got it.
disengage. Yep.
Okay. All right. So then, if that's the case, I'm just going to move behind her with a
Okay.
rapier drawn.
Okay. So you want to try to sneak behind her, I assume.
Do we take a sneak? All right. Fair. Yeah.
So that your action is to sneak. So let's roll that
Okay.
score. And then I'll roll her perception. So you got a 6 or 19. So let's see if I can beat that with a straight D20. And I cannot. So you are behind her, and she does not perceive you.
All right. I hope
Okay.
it sets up.
All right.
bonuses
Next in the
for
order is Rogar.
All right, let's kill this thing.
Let's get it.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in the air and whirlwind down and cut her around the head.
Okay. 12 armor class.
Hang on.
That's a hit.
That's a hit. You mean damage.
11.
How's she go out?
Oh boy. So I'm in the air, spinning towards her, and I cut her directly in half. Not her head, just directly in
All
half.
right. Yeah, so you slice right down the half of this girl, and just almost like mist, like the mist outside the doors. She just sort of dissipates into the air, and the last thing you hear is a mother's quivering voice saying, "My baby," and that's it.
Ugh.
We asked for mist.
Anyway, we got the
fog
echoes.
machine.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And as soon as you've checked on the baby, you've dealt with her. Both of you that have interacted with the children, you have a sudden desire to go to sleep, and you just realize that until you can go to sleep, you're not going to be able to stop feeling the way you feel.
Well, there's a bed over there. So I'm just gonna walk over and cradle myself.
You just know it's not going to cut it. There's a certain bed you need to sleep in to get rest, and it's not here.
It's in the kids' room, man. Yeah, follow Rogar. Rogar is stomping out of this room in a big dragon fashion, and he's going
Okay.
to the room we were
I think
previously.
Rocky wants me to sleep in his bed.
I do.
Is
That's
this
separate
all
from D&D.
part of it?
All of this was an elaborate plan to get you to see that. All
Well,
right.
you know how to woo a lady. I'm gonna take you to my death house.
Yeah. So you get to the end of the hall. That's where the kids' room is. Down that hall, there is a door to your left, a door to your right, and a mirror. And there's the kids' room. So you've been in the kids' room. You see the skeletons in the bed. And then there's a door to the left, a door to the right, and then the mirror at the end of the hall.
So if we go to sleep in our beds, or do I have to sleep with disdain in the same way our skeletons are shaped?
You tell me what you want to do.
I think that
Let's
think-
go cuddle.
yeah. I slowly turn my head to look at disdain, and I grab the palm of his hand, and in a very non-creepy, very innocent way, lead him to the bed, and there we lie down.
Okay, so
You're coming with me, disdain.
So I just want to make sure that I get this right because it's important. You get to the end of the hall and you turn to disdain and you say let's go to bed together.
Yes.
And I'm going to clarify because the way that the skeletons were positioned, I am possessed by the little girl, so I am the bigger spoon.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll give you that.
All right. Sorry. I just want to set the ambiance. All right. So you guys go to bed together. And what's the other party doing?
I'm not going in that room.
Come on.
All right. So they lay down in bed with the skeletons.
With the skeletons.
What are you guys doing? The ones that aren't sleeping with the skeletons?
I guess they've put a sock on the doorknob, so I'm gonna
Right.
sit outside.
Okay.
And I guess I'll stand watch outside the door.
All right. Well, there's a door to the left, door to the right, and then a mirror at the end of the hall.
I mean, Rogar's hungry, so I'm just gonna put him up at the end of the door and eat a ration.
Okay. So you eat some rations. What about Dr. Crawford?
I think I might actually do the same thing.
Okay. So you guys are eating jerky while these guys are spooning inside the kids' room. And nothing happens, man. You can't sleep. Like it's almost like you can't sleep.
Okay. I know what I have to do.
This is just getting weird. We can't be laying there like this
No,
anymore.
I know what I have to do. I'm gonna reach under the bed. No, dude, I have no idea. I thought that we had to sleep, right?
Well,
You want to sleep. You feel desperately you need to sleep. You just can't go to sleep laying in these beds.
and if you remember, the children couldn't sleep. So
Yeah, but I thought they could now that the baby's not crying and the banshee has been slayed.
no, I think we got to kill that monster.
Oh God, dude.
Or a monster. Yeah.
Okay, so I have a sudden flash of awareness come over my face, and I realize what I'm doing, laying in a bed with this person.
Okay.
And so I jump up in a quick motion, and I push Disdain away, acting like he's the one that started it because we all saw it. And so I walk over and I sit down and eat some rations and
Okay.
act as normal as I possibly can.
That didn't just happen.
Yeah, after
Hey,
that,
just pretend.
Disdain's the one sitting on the bed,
What a weirdo that guy is.
mouthing the words to endless love in silence. Song hadn't been written yet.
Mhm.
Good inspiration.
Yep. So there's the mirror. You
Mirror,
said that
door to
the
the
mirror was
left,
there.
door to the right.
Behind the mirror, along the side, she said there was a button.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any investigative skills to find the button.
I'll take a look.
Okay. Give me a roll, Dr. Crawford.
Not too hot. Well, she did give us instructions side of the mirror, right? So
So it's a 13, so that won't cut it.
I'll give him.
You know, I'll give you advantage though. She did tell you it was there, so let's roll one
Alright.
more time and take the higher.
There it
Oh.
is.
It's 25. Yeah. So after some searching, you do find a little button behind the mirror. You touch it, I assume.
oh yeah.
Okay. The mirror rolls off to the side, and there's a stairway rolling up. You still have the two closed doors behind you too that you haven't explored yet.
Let's check out the first one to the left.
Okay. So when you open that door, it is a bathroom, and there's a tub filled with blood.
Is there a medicine cabinet?
Well, I'm gonna go check to make sure everybody looted the banshee. Because
There's no epic loot.
okay.
Yeah, she just sort of dissipated.
Well, I guess I'm stuck in this room then with a bathtub full of blood.
A lot of
And
blood.
then there's the room to the right, and then there's the stairway going up.
I'm gonna go peek in the room to the right.
Okay. So when you peek into the room to the right, it is a bedroom. This bedroom is way more elaborately decorated than any other room that you've seen so far. Just sort of a big, like double mast bed. There's paintings along the walls. There's a little desk with like different makeup and stuff, though it's all dusty and sort of covered with cobwebs. And then you see along the wall a dumbwaiter, and next to the dumbwaiter there is a note and a ring.
Well, let's go look at that note. I walk over to it with my. Do I need investigation to look at it? or-
No, you can just open and look at it if you want.
I'll pick it up and look at it.
It's a very simple note with a very feminine set of handwriting that says, "Enjoy your reward for the pleasure you provided me." And you see now that the wine bottle is actually empty, and there's a wine glass next to it that has a little bit of lipstick on the edge of the glass, and there's a singular ring that would go on your index finger that has what looks to be like a crimson jewel on the top of it, but there's a little red liquid sloshing in that jewel.
Okay. I pick up the ring then.
Okay.
Can I do a medicine check on the bathtub of blood to find out like what it's from?
Hell yeah.
Here it goes. Oh god, that was terrible.
It's a lot of blood, and there's some
Alright.
bones floating in there too.
I'm gonna do an Arcana check on that ring.
Okay, do it. It is a ring of health. When you wear this ring, you get 3 hit points added to your maximum hit point pool.
Nice.
Anything else?
What else is in this room? Sorry, the dumbbell.
As you look around the room, you sort of ask. Give me an insight roll. Give me like a 10. That's for you, Rogar, because I think you're the only one with insight. Oh yeah. This is definitely Gustav and Elizabeth's room. It's the master bedroom. As you turn around, you see a painting by the doorway that is quite interesting. It's a beautiful painting. It's a very elaborate painting, but it's of a man holding a glass of wine in very noble garb, and it's a painting. Nothing supernatural about it, but this painting just sort of looks down on you as you're exiting the room. It's right there by the doorway. And at the bottom of the painting, it just says "Our Lord and Master."
You can't see him in the reflection.
Ooh, good eye.
– Just a heads up, guys. I'm going to have to cut out soon. So,
We're almost done. Yep.
got it.
Anything else?
Besides that, I guess I'll do a investigation roll on that.
On what, the painting?
Yeah.
Yep.
And particularly on the fact that he's like he can't.
Go for it. With a high roll like that, what you can tell is this painting was painted exactly the way it was intended. That's not an oversight. That it was depicted the way it was depicted on purpose.
Okay.
Anything else before you guys go up the stairs?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, there's a crack in that window, but
You can look out if you want.
yeah, it's like panes of glass.
Disdain, you go and look out this window, and you don't see the forest and the woods anymore. You actually see a village, and it's a very mist-covered village. You see a man pushing a cart, asking people to buy his sausages.
Okay.
But the mist is thick, and there's sort of a gate around the property. But you're no longer in a forest.
All right. And I tell everybody about that. Tell them that we're no longer in a forest, guys. Seems like we're in a small village. All right, let's go upstairs.
Proceed upstairs to an attic, and the attic, as far as you can tell, is got some toys, some children's toys, some old clothes, some chests filled with just different sundries. But the thing that catches your eye is on the wall, there is a set of 5 dials and each dial has basically the equivalent to the common alphabet, letter A through the letter U. And there's 5 slots.
Can I just walk over and assign the spell amount to spell Durst?
So you spell it Durst.
Mm-hmm.
So you spell it Durst, and it doesn't click.
Okay.
But hold on a second. Nope, because Durst has 6 letters, and this only has 5.
Thralled.
I
So what do
had
you,
Durst at 5.
DU? Oh, my bad. You're right. It is at 5.
Okay, that's
'Cause
okay if it doesn't work.
putting,
It's just I want to
no,
make sure I'm
it
not
doesn't.
crazy.
It doesn't work. But you're right. It is 5.
Cool. Sounds good.
What were you gonna say, Disdain?
Strald.
What do you put in?
Strald.
Strahd.
Yeah,
Strahd.
Strahd.
So you put STRAHD, and a click happens, and a path and a stairway beneath the house opens to you, and that's where we would end tonight's campaign. So
Oh.
Bum, 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 bum.
Mm.
good job, guys.
That was fun, man.
Yeah, do you
Nobody
like
said.
that?
Cool. That was cool.
Yep.
Nice.
I dig it.
That was awesome.
Did we level up?
You were level 2 before we go into
Oh.
the basement.
Yeah,
And so,
get some.
yeah, we would level up at the beginning of the next session and see what happens
Good.
after that. So
Awesome.
awesome. Well, thanks, guys. That was a lot of fun.
No one died. Look at that.
Oh,
Yeah.
almost.
But not
Almost.
quite. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So y'all want to attempt to do this next Tuesday?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Absolutely,
All right.
man. You
All
guys
right.
take it easy.
Take it easy, guys. Into the
Peace.
basement you go next time.
Yeah, see ya.
Can't wait.
We're gonna